Hello guys, welcome back to another coaching session. Today we're going to be doing the second session of the client who's playing Varus in Emerald. You may have seen the video last week. If you haven't seen that video, this is a premium client, so they've purchased 4 sessions over 4 weeks, and each session we're looking to build and develop on what we did in the previous one. So this is their second session, and you'll find a link to the first session in the description if you missed that one. As usual, if you do like the style of coaching that you see in these videos, look down into the description and you'll see a link to my Fiverr page. There you'll see the 3 packages that you can purchase. You've got your basic, which is just a VOD review. You've got your standard, which is the style of coaching that you'll see in these videos. And then you've got your premium, which, like I've just mentioned, gives you 4 standard sessions over 4 weeks. You get 4 for the price of 3 if you buy premium. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking at today. So once again, this is going to be a Varus top session, and we'll look to call the client and see if they're ready. Let's start the call right now. If it lets me. My Discord seems to not be working. 1 second, guys. Let me restart it here. How strange. Did you know Discord was almost called Bonfire, apparently? There we go. Now it started a call.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome
Nice.
back.
Thank you.
So how are you feeling a week on from the first session?
I'm not gonna lie. I I don't think I practiced as much as I should have.
Okay.
Mostly because yeah, I mean on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm away from the computer.
That
So
does make it difficult to practice. It is hard to play League of Legends without the computer. That's a tricky one.
yeah, so I mean the days leading up to it I could have also done more. I think I got a bit discouraged. So I hopped onto my main. I hopped onto my Smurf and I actually did quite okay. But then I didn't even win that game, and I was like, like man, this is so. I don't know. It's like frustrating a little bit,
Okay. I mean,
but
getting frustrated is fine. It happens, especially like when you're learning. You want to be somewhere. You're setting yourself goals, and it's important to not compare yourself to where you want to be, but compare yourself to where you were yesterday. I think that's the best mindset.
for sure.
Okay. So what I wanted to do today is one of the things that we brought up in messages between the sessions, and just sort of something that's very important to playing a champion like Varus top is that it's hard to play around the jungler because you're a range top, right? You need to be really careful of where the jungle is.
Mhm.
And 2, I think the wave state is really important because you're not running teleport. So like playing around having your wave in the correct state is going to be really important. So I thought a good idea for today's session would be a like jungle tracking and wave management session, if you would like to do that.
Sure.
Okay, nice. Okay, so we can start with a live game again, as last time. But this time the questions that I'm asking you are going to be very different. They're going to be about things like where the jungler is and what we can do with the wave. Now, what's your current understanding of top lane wave management?
Um, uh, Let me see. Well, I don't think top and bot are too different. They're like when it comes to the way the minions move. So let's say,
Yeah.
they meet in the middle, and I kill them first.
Mm-hmm.
Then my wave is gonna move up to theirs,
Yep.
and it's gonna get caught on wherever their wave comes. So if their wave doesn't come in time, my wave will hit to the turret. If my wave does come in time, then it might not make it there, and it will, depending on how many minions I have, then I'll have to see whether or not it's going to push back to me or whether it's going to, make its way into the turret. But generally, if it does get caught, an even wave, it should bounce back to me because if they're caught closer on his side, that means his wave will appear first, and reinforce the 2 waves in the middle, which means that it should push back to me.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly right. So You identified like the reason that waves push back depending on their position in the lane, not just how many. There's two things that control whether it pushes, right? It's how many minions there are and where the position is.
Right.
So there are three states that the wave can be in. Well, I guess there's four states actually. One is it only ever happens if both of you kill the entire wave, or at the very start of the game, right? It's just perfectly neutral. The minions just meet exactly in the middle. That's one. The next one is it can be pushing, either one way or the other way. And then the last one, yeah, I guess there's three. It can either be pushing in either direction, it can be neutral, or it can be frozen. Do you understand how a freeze happens?
Um, yes, in concept. So the when, let's say for example, I push my wave to the enemy turret and there's not enough of my minions to, or actually like the pushing strength of what wave I have left
Mm-hmm.
is enough to keep the reinforcements essentially not moving. Which is like, for example, like the three casters usually are enough because they, I don't know, like I can't mathematically explain it to you. I just know that the casters
No, that's
provide
okay.
enough pushing power that it keeps the wave from coming back to me.
Yes. Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
illustrate this for you. Let me grab my Epic pen because I prefer it to the actual pen on this site. How do I? There we go. Okay, let's get these out of the way. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so the freeze that most people are familiar with is the freeze here, where let's say we have the 6 minions coming in here from your side.
Mm-hmm.
You would want an excess of 4, so you'd end up with 10 minions here coming from this side, and that will freeze. 4 is the magic number in this spot. Now, the reason this freezes is, do you remember I said that there's two things that determine whether a wave pushes? There's the number of
Yeah.
minions, and there's the position in the lane, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, like you correctly identified, if your minion wave is here, if this is where the two minion waves are colliding, like this, then the next wave that's coming is going to get here first because it only needs to go from here, whereas this one needs to come all the way down here. So since this one starts hitting first, it starts pushing this way. So you already got that correct. So that's one of the things, that's the position of the lane. The other one is, if we assume we've got a completely even lane, but we've got 6 minions here and 7 here, it's going to push this way because there's more minions on this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two factors that can determine what the wave does. When those two factors are in equilibrium, the wave will freeze. So if the position is here and there's an excess of 4 minions, it will freeze. If the wave is here and there's an excess of 3, it will freeze. Or, well, maybe it's not that. Like here is 4, and then like here is 3, here is 2, here is 1, and then if it's here, it's a neutral wave.
I see.
You see what I mean? So when those two things are in equilibrium, the wave won't go anywhere because, like you said, the wave is big enough, there's enough number of minions to offset the position. So that's what determines a freeze. So the most common one you're going to have is a freeze outside your tower, which is an excess of 4. But just remember that you could also like have one here and you could have an excess of 2. If you have an excess of 3 here, then it's going to start pushing into you. If you only have an excess of 1, it's probably going to start pushing this way. So you can just, you'll sort of get a feel for how many minions you need at each, like on each line, essentially.
I see.
Okay. So we'll bear these things in mind when we're in the game. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is jungle track. So let's get you to share your screen and we'll queue up for a game. Is there anything about the wave management stuff that we've just talked about, like the 3 different things the wave can be doing, that you don't understand before we jump in? Or like while we're in queue?
Maybe a quick question.
Yeah.
It does matter which minions are alive, right? Because I know that
Yes.
casters hurt harder than melees.
Yes, that's a good point. Casters and melees are kind of interchangeable because while casters hit harder, melees are tankier. But if you have a cannon minion, one thing that I'll see some people do is like they have like 4 minions, but they're not quite full health, and they'll start freezing it. But the next wave coming is a cannon wave because there's now a cannon hitting it. It's actually enough to just break that freeze and turn it back into a very, very like the very beginning of a slow push. So you do need to be a little more careful on cannon waves because cannons are just considerably stronger than the rest of the minions. But the difference between melees and casters is so slight that I've never found it makes a difference. But I would normally hold the... If you're trying to hold a freeze, you would choose to hold the caster minions because they're less likely to randomly walk into your turret like absolute divs. Because melee minions will do some of the silliest things I've ever seen. They will just wander into your turret for no reason.
Yeah, I have seen that.
So
also, if they have, for example, you have 2 minions that are both 50% HP, can you consider them one minion with full HP?
it's slightly better, or like it's slightly, it's closer to like 1.5 than one because they both attack at the same time. So you can imagine it's a minion that's got the same amount of health, but it's got more AD. You can think of it like that.
That is a lot of math on the fly, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, these are like really, really small things that are probably never going to make a difference. 9 times out of 10, you just count the minions, and unless they're really low health, which if you're freezing, they're probably going to be full health because they've just arrived off the previous wave. So
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I cheat by having it be having the enemies so I'm trying to, if I've tried to freeze in front of my turret
yeah,
and I'm not really sure how many it takes, I'll cheat by allowing a big wave to come in. I'll catch it with my HP bar
yeah,
and then have the wave meet where I want it to meet, and then I start thinning it out until it looks
that's fine.
about
That's
even.
that's not cheating. That's control. Like if the wave was gonna crash and you drag it to create a freeze, that's just really good wave control. You trade a little bit of health for it, and like you said, you don't have to have 4. Like you can still freeze it with 5. You know, it's gonna push a little bit too fast, but you can just take like 20 damage to drag it into the bush again, and it will
Yeah.
still freeze. It's better to have too many minions on your freeze than too few, because too few and it will break. Too many, you just have to kind of maneuver it a little bit.
And not only will it break, but it'll be the opposite of what you want, right? Because freezing is because you want to be in a safe position near your tower. But if it breaks, that means it's going to start slow pushing away from you, which
Yes.
is like the opposite of what the goal is.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of every wave position. So I don't think there is any strength or weakness to the neutral position. I think it's just neutral. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just a neutral wave, right? It's exactly the same on both sides. If the wave is slow pushing into the enemy, what are the strengths and weaknesses of that for you?
Well, if the strength for me is I definitely will have a bigger wave.
Yeah,
So if he tries to fight me in that wave, I will be like my minions will do a lot more damage than his.
yeah,
Um, However, obviously, if I want to CS and continue getting XP, I'm gonna have to be past River Point, and that opens me up to ganks. And also, let's say the enemy is like an Olaf with Ghost. If I missed up, I'm also super far up in the lane. Regardless of the jungler, I'm further away from my turret, meaning that there's more space for him to run me down.
yeah. That's really, really good. That you, everything you said is correct. There's one more small thing which you'll notice, like you know how we were playing the early game to get the level 2 and then be aggressive and then get the level 3 and then chunk them.
Yeah.
When we're slow pushing, it naturally leads to an XP advantage because their minions are dead and ours are alive. So that's the other advantage of slow pushing into the enemy.
Mm.
So on the flip side, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the enemy slow pushing into you?
That means they're open up to a gank from my jungler. It means that if they want XP and CS, they're in like a compromising position and I can use that.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's just like the advantages
it's
without
the
the
opposite way
disadvantage.
around, right? I'd say from your perspective, one of the big advantages is that there is a wave coming. You know, you can be patient. It's coming to you. And then I think you already said the advantages of a freeze. It's that it puts the enemy in a position where they have to overextend, whereas you're completely safe under your tower, and like they have to come and break it. It essentially traps them in the negative of the slow push constantly.
That makes sense.
I think the last thing to touch on with wave control is that the wave can also be like crashed into the tower, which gives us prio. Because while it's crashed under the tower, we can do whatever we want and we can come back and the next wave will be slow pushing into us, which, like I just mentioned with like being patient because there's a wave coming, we can just chill them.
I
We can
guess
go roam or
my
base or...
wave crashed under their tower is also a wave state in that
Yeah,
case.
yeah, I get it. Like, it's kind of the beginning of a slow push, unless they manage to kill them all before the next wave arrives, and then it becomes neutral.
And then I assume once laning phase is over, wave management is still similar, but the goals I believe are different.
Yes.
Because I know, I mean, as a top laner, like sometimes you want to just get this big wave and just threaten the tier 2 top lane as everybody else 4v4s in the drag pit.
I think that's a
And
lot
that,
less Varus and more like Fiora. That
yeah,
style
for
of
sure.
mid-game wave management.
I just still, I know that's like a big weakness of mine is once the towers go down, I mean, as ADC, like it's pretty easy. You just go mid, you catch the waves mid, like just be where the team needs you to be. As top lane, it's a little hard. Like I'm not really sure. Should I be catching these waves? Should I fully push it out? Like, am I risking getting caught if I push it?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll talk about that in the review or maybe in the live game as well.
It's
And
Riven.
keep your barrier. Barrier's really good
Okay.
in this matchup. I think you're very, very favored. I almost said flavored. Oh, never mind.
Actually
We'll see a different
dodged,
matchup.
pussy.
I know, scared of the Varus top. But
No,
yeah,
I
we'll
actually
talk
think my team
about
dodged.
wave management in the mid to late game. Um, and there's like a little trick you can do to give yourself the same like tempo, the same prio, but safer than you normally would. So we'll get to that. I just don't want to overload your head with too many things because I also want to talk about the enemy jungler. Because the aim of today is that we'll be able to get to a point where we can play our waves or like start practicing playing our waves around the position of the two junglers. So,
I don't know too much about jungle tracking. I just, again, I
okay.
cheat by looking at my jungler and then I just assume the enemy jungler is mirrored in the position. But after like second back, it kind of gets hard to do that.
Stuff like knowing exactly what time people finished clears, like, for example, Sejuani's world record clear is a 3 minute and 9 seconds. You don't need to know stuff like that. If you just assume a full clear is about 3:15, you're probably fine. Like, I'd say the average is about 3:15. But yeah, looking
I
at
don't really know what
where...
to do with that information.
Okay, we'll go through it. So what's the very first thing you can check for to try and figure out what the enemy jungle's doing in a game? Unless you
Where he
like
starts.
invade and get a ward, right? Yeah,
Oh, well,
where he starts. So how can we determine potentially where the enemy starts?
finding where's like what buff he's starting on first, or what camp.
Yeah, that's the goal. But what's uh the method, I guess, the process?
Um, I'm not really sure if I'm understanding the question correctly. Like gaining information is the process.
Okay, so there's some specific things that we can do to figure out where he's starting. One is like we can invade and get wards or stuff like that. That's really, really good. But even if we don't do that, what we can do is watch the map to see if either side lane comes to lane late, because that likely means they leashed. And if they leashed, you know he's starting there, because they're not going to leash nobody unless it's like challenger level fake leash stuff, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean, nowadays it's starting to die out a little bit.
yeah, I think
Leashing.
that's correct. I think leashing is bad, but the reason it's bad is one, you lose prio of your lane, and two, it shows the enemy where your jungle starts. I would never swap that.
Yeah, I know, right? Why? Why would he do that? He was the one who gave me last pick. I've seen LeBlanc support before. It's not horrible. There's a Briar in the enemy team. Gragas, Jesus Christ, dude. This guy is like my kryptonite.
Okay. Um,
Fuck it, we ball, dude.
it's very much about like dodging his Q and not letting him. You remember with the Cho'Gath, like he wanted to farm the wave as with his Q. So if you try and stay away from the minions he wants to farm, it's harder to hit him. It's going to be pretty similar to that with the Gragas barrels.
His body slam is hard for me. I don't really. I always underestimate, and it just comes out so quick.
It's fine. He doesn't have enough damage to like. If he body slams into you, you can just ult him on the way out.
I don't know, man. Craig is bro. He's got everything. He's a fucking tank, burst, assassin. Like, I mean, he's disgustingly nasty. My arena duo always plays him for a free win.
I think he's a lot better in Arena than he is on Summoner's Rift. That is a good point.
I mean, his fighting potential, like his ability to make something happen. Like I think he just has a lot in his kit to just always be relevant.
Holy shit, you have T1 carrier as your support. Damn. Can't lose.
I fucking wish.
Okay, so level one, let's cover the river to cover and invade rather than just sending it tower.
Yep.
And we'll just keep an eye on like anyone we see on the map. This is kind of scary for you. I would walk back into Tribush purely because nobody's covering the other topside thing. So they could like, if they come in
Walk
and then
behind me,
walk
yeah.
around you and then they're
From
behind you,
here.
yeah, it's kind of scary. But I do like being in that pixel brush at level one. It's just because nobody's covering the other one, you're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, for
Ah,
sure.
there they are. Here, do you know what the best thing for you to do here is?
Go for a deep ward.
Yeah, ward the
That's
enemy
wild.
blue. Like, do you know the best spot? It's sort of between blue and Gromp on that little wall.
So I can see when she finishes the blue and crosses over to Gromp, right?
Yeah.
Like here?
A little bit further up, kind of like where you were standing before.
Here?
A little bit further.
Here?
Just drop one, and I'll show you the best place after. That's fine. It's really hard to explain with like words. I'm not. I'm not. Okay, let's go and get our level 2 prior.
Yep.
So the good thing is we know where she's pathing, right? So we can expect the
Towards
enemy
me.
jungler to be top at 315.
And Viego's fucking away.
Nice. Nice. PTA Brock, huge.
Could have watered him there.
Good position in there. Nice. Auto Q. Nice, use the W as well. Ah, unfortunate about the tower shot, but really, really good laning so far. Okay, so we've got a huge trade already. We're winning the lane. We know that the enemy jungler's pathing to us, and our jungler's pathing away from us. So what do you think I would like you to do on this wave crash?
I need to crash this. I need to crash this and have it bounce back to me. So Briar has an opportunity to gank me, I think.
She doesn't
I don't
because it's not 315 yet. Like you would
oh
expect.
well. I suppose I can have time to harass him.
Yeah, and you can also see when she goes for her blue.
His
Nice.
my
Okay, so now I would back up because she's now probably topside.
right.
And now, as much as it's really nice to like pressure this guy because of how hard you won early, you're weak side right now. So this is the thing. You can just wait for the wave, don't recall. Because you're still full health. You've still got a huge resource advantage. And this is good what you're doing. Just get your XP. So right now I think you're a little too far forward. Briar could maybe wrap around and gank you. Because there's nothing... No, those minions, none of them would die, you know? Even if you
Yeah.
just ignore them. And then what we can look to do is play out the next slow push, assuming that Briar is not here, because she doesn't want to just stay on the same side of the map after clearing.
Would Gragas leave now?
Yeah, he might base. So how do we deny as much as possible on this next
Freeze
push?
it?
We can't freeze it because it's on our tower, but we can slow push it
Slow
to...
push it?
Yeah.
So I should just try and build up
Just...
as big of a wave as I can here.
Yep. Because you see these
It's
minions,
allowed to.
like, your blue minions are dying right now. Whereas you haven't missed any minions of XP, but he is missing them right now.
Oops.
Nice. And what you can look to do with your level 5 is get your aggressive positioning back, because now we expect Briar to be bot side again, right? She did her top side already. There she is. We see her in bot side. Just as expected. Nice trade. And now I would probably look for a reset off of this wave. I'll explain why in the review, because it's a lot to think about in game. I know I'm telling you a lot of things, but this is really, really good. Like, this has been a very good laning phase so far.
If I come back, I'm up tempo. I have gold spend. He doesn't.
Yep, and you're up resources as well because he's used health and mana. So what he should try to do right now is probably fast push this if he can, so that he can get his own reset in.
And I should also hit 6 first.
Yep, because he missed XP. Oh, he actually got it off this wave. He didn't miss quite enough. But now we're in exactly the same position again. You're coming back. You missed 1 melee minion of XP. Let's see if we can slow push and make him miss more than 1 melee minion of XP.
Dang.
And if he appears back in lane, then you know he teleported.
Briar's down there. So I should slow push by some. It's just me and him, and I'm stronger than him, so
Yeah,
I can be
that's
strong.
that's really good that you spot Briar on the map and now you're playing around it.
I want to kill my guy first. I have Prior, so actually, let me fast push this so I can go help you guys out.
Yeah, you can go play around grubs. I like that. So as we were tracking, right, like he missed 1, you missed 1 melee minion of XP. He missed 3. So it just works out better for you.
Oh, he hit me instead of the wave. You don't need me.
Nice.
Ow, the cannon fucking hitting me.
Very good.
Interesting.
Very good.
Maybe I could have killed him. Maybe I still can. Okay, never mind.
Do you know how you could have killed him there? Very, very small thing.
I think I didn't maximize blight usage.
It was just one more auto before you cast ult, which you went for, but I think you accidentally cancelled it. But it was still a very, very good trade. You might want to base either this wave or next wave because he's going to teleport. Well, I've just thought of another thing to cover as well.
Oh my god, no way. He's
Why?
checking it.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine to stay because it's pushing into you. He also doesn't have ult, and now he doesn't have teleport.
But I'm weak center, right? Like I
Yeah,
mean with Barry to
you're just
close.
letting the wave come in and then catching it under your tower, and you want to lose as little health as possible. Which this is perfect. You've been weak side a lot this game, which sometimes it happens, and
Yeah, I mean junglers like Viego, they're gonna see a top laner with no tank, no CC, and they don't want to play. Like, but that's fine. I mean, as a range top, like, oh, an isolated 1v1 is what I'm looking for.
yeah. And the thing is, like, Briar spent her time topside and gained nothing. Whereas when Viego's spent his time bot side, I think he's gained something. I haven't been paying too much of it
Yeah,
attention.
he's been got a lot. He got Dragon and a kill mid, I think. I'm afraid of getting dove. So I should then.
He tries to dive you here, you've got ult. Barrier. Nice. Really
Gotcha.
nice, actually. That flash was sick. Well played.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck!
here.
I
I don't think it would have made a difference, actually, but you could have made it take one more tower shot
again.
if you E'd.
I was hoping maybe if I fast cleared the wave or
Just
something. That's okay.
get
That's
a,
Trader Flashes.
dagger for your Berserker Greaves.
Oh, Briar's 3-1.
Who's she been killing? I guess she
Oh,
just
she got
killed you
Doom
once,
Splash.
but that's the first time you died all game as my weak side.
They've been scrapping bot side, I
So she's
assume.
probably clearing down to bot now because she just ganked you from. Like, it looked like she ganked you and went into her jungle.
The angle, it almost looked like she was here, like near
Yeah,
Crows
I think she
on
was. I
our
think she'd maybe
side.
done your team's jungle.
I think I'm stronger than Gregus.
I think so too. Especially when your ult's up.
He's
You've got
pushing towards
5
me
points
for
to
some
lane.
reason. Oops.
Okay, it doesn't look like you're that far ahead when you press tab and look at the CS, but you actually are because you're at a huge XP lead because of how you've played the lane. I think you're like half a level up, if not more.
He's here. I wasn't tracking his CP timer properly.
Okay,
Brody, you can
no.
keep trying that all day, man. It's so predictable. I need to make sure that I stop his TP if he's looking. Actually, they shut down Briar this big. Baron 43. I want to wait for that. I think I'll win. Maybe I don't have to. Oh, I also don't have to fight. I have Primal. I want to get 6 grubs for Diego.
6 scrubs is a very good plan. Oh, close.
That's 4. 5. Basically guaranteed. I don't think I have to overextend or anything too crazy right now. Well, actually, no ulti. What am I even scared of? A fucking body slam? Like, oh, I have Fryo.
He's gonna have ult again soon because it is quite a low cooldown.
What the fuck?
Unfortunately, they lost the 1v2 somehow.
Yeah, they did.
Ooh,
Briar,
big.
Briar. She's the one.
Big.
Yes, huge, 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 huge.
It should be full
Thank God I
terminus
hit
now.
Karma with my ulti. I for a second there I thought River Elevation fucked me again. Oh, I don't think you need to do that, dude. I mean, I appreciate it actually. Gragas is
Okay.
dead, it's fine.
What are we gonna get here? Amp Tome or Ruby Crystal? What are you feeling?
Uh, I need to make an item set because I'm wasting precious time doing this.
Oh, you're
I
dead.
think I'm
You have plenty of time.
PP. Terminus is super strong for me. As long as I can fully stack it, I'm pretty sure I'm unkillable to him.
Yep. I think now you're at a point in the game because of how fed Briar is for some reason, that you have to play really defensive when you can't see her. Oh, this could be good. You're dropping your wave here, which is
Yeah, but
not
I
what you
want
want.
TV to come. Cringe! I thought she had ulti. It was my fault for not looking. Yeah, I lost something for that. It's Briar ulti. That's what the sound is. It's oh
Oh,
god, it is me. She's doing Herald, I think. Is why where that angle was weird. I think she's here. I just something yeah. I mean if Leona's here, she's here.
oh, there she is. Okay,
She's
so
topside, that's for
you just
sure.
have to play pretty safe on this next wave, and you expect
I
her to
just
not be topside after the Herald thing. You can also look to move in with your team. You've got a pink ward to walk over.
I don't want to drop this wave.
You can. I'll tell you later. This looks playable. I like that you're going that way around. Gets you much better positioning on the
It's
fight.
not safe to go that way.
Yep,
Not at all.
correct.
Nice, nice.
Oh, really nice. Nice.
She had to use her berserk there.
Yep.
Or her free. Oh, fuck it, reset. It's rough. Both sides used ultis.
Very nice. Can you flash into the pit maybe?
Diego, help me!
Nice, nice.
Oh my god, the Herald, get off me, please get off me! Fuck!
Oh.
Fuck.
I think you win this fight now, though. I
I
think
should have
you
flashed the
played
other
that
way.
well enough that you win.
He has no ulti.
My god, this game is complete chaos.
Fucking Confiesta, dude! You know what? I shouldn't have told them to do it. I shouldn't have told them to do it. I should not have told them to do it.
What a crazy game.
Actually,
I like
actually,
both. I think I like the boots one a bit better. Move speed's a really, really
Briar
powerful stat.
ulti. That's you. I think Tilly's not doing half bad. Maybe she can clutch up here. 2 Malignance users this game. Okay, so Briar, I believe, just ultied Talia down bot. And she should be bot side for this dragon. Yep. Well, she is. LeBlanc is coming my way, but I have no idea where Gragas is. He either must have reset or he's behind me. I'm gonna assume he reset.
Looks like it.
Grubs, 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 grubs.
So much damage with the grubs.
I am aware I'm being fucked up from the back end. Fuck. That's just... I kind of hate this LeBlanc. Okay. Oh, fuck me, dude. No way. There's more people coming. Maybe Greg is flash. Talia's getting good pressure down bot. That's them 6 grubs doing work right there.
Yeah, she might actually get the full turret. If no one goes there.
Oh, Mom, I have a feeling Briar might answer her. If she doesn't, if she goes for this Herald, then yeah, we get it, but... I'm pretty sure if I have ulti, I kill Smolder here. I just have
You
to have to
definitely
bait him to
can kill
Ethers.
Smolder.
Because if I ulti and I don't 100 to 0 him... Oh yeah, she's here. I'm not a fan of that. I don't see Briar. She could be here. But Smolder was here. No, Smolder's bot. It's just me. Nice. That's one. Smolder flash.
Okay, I think once we get this tower, it becomes mid-game, because then it's like the map is really opened up for us. So what we want to look to do here, wave-wise, is we want to push until the wave crashes into their T2 turret, and then we want to go group with our team. And like when you played that Herald fight and you took the safe path into the fight, you're going to want to take the safest path that you feel comfortable doing into your team. That looks pretty good. And then, yeah, you can come and join this play. Because while you're joining this, the enemy's bleeding
Somebody
minions
has
in
to
top
answer
lane.
top, yeah.
Yeah. And you want to keep putting them in that position.
It's fucking good. Nice, we dodged the Briar ulti. Fight with Viego, he needs reset. Nice, okay, good.
Okay, so your mid laner kind of messed up the... Like, she didn't play off of Briar, so you were bleeding minions in bot, but the whole time they were bleeding minions in top because you didn't mess up playing for Briar. You played it correctly, and you got an advantage. Like, let's say that fight happened and nobody died. It would benefit you. Before we recall, let's try and get this bot wave into that same position. So it's kind of scary to push all the way down there by ourselves, right? So let's talk about the little trick you can do. If you push this one slowly, and now you finish it, because it took longer for you to kill this first one. Well, one, you've got a big wave, and two, they meet closer to you. So now you can kill this one a little bit closer to your base instead of...
He's coming.
Further down the lane.
I'm scared.
It's okay. You've still got like a big push in bot lane. It didn't quite get to the tower, but now you can walk from base. Maybe walk into mid and see if anything happens, and then if you have to, you can go back and catch bot wave again. And the cycle will repeat itself.
What? Look at Viego's build. What the fuck? Brother, when we said we don't need a tank, bro. Just kill her.
Okay,
Death is the best CC. Like, ain't no way we're contesting this dragon. You are late. This is a Baron flag right here.
If you do... Oh, look, mid. If you do go for this Baron, remember to just cycle your Blight on it, because you'll deal a lot of damage to the Baron that way.
It's just a debate. Gotcha.
Nice.
I'm not gonna flash for her. That's Baron. That's Baron. That's Baron.
Yep, just cycle the Blight and melt the Baron. You have insane Baron damage.
Yeah, I mean, usually Viego itself was
You can use the
a
W as well.
marksman.
The W does a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Okay, so let's fix one of these side waves. Probably bot, so that we can go play for dragon after.
That's the wrong item. Right component. They need to be careful. Nice steal! Nice steal. Holy hell. That puts us 2-2. That's huge, honestly. Them on soul point, that was a win con for them, but huge for us, huge for us, huge for us.
Yeah. I like how you played that fight as well. I think focusing Briar is probably always going to be the best way to play until maybe hyper late game when Smolder is a higher prio. But right now, Briar's their strongest player, and she's still quite squishy.
Viego had a good entry to the fight. He got on top of Smolder, and then he was getting like 1v3'd, but I got to back him up on the Briar. I'm gonna keep pushing.
Yep, take the next one, and then it will be on the tower, and then you can rotate into your team and play around mid. Or if you see there's this play going on now, okay, never mind. I was gonna
Gragas
say if
is
no
here.
one turns up, you could take their T2. You
I
might
mean, I
be
can beat him,
you might be able to anyway, yeah. If it's just Gragas. Okay, yeah,
for
you can
sure.
see them all now. Nice.
Okay, dude, this guy's gonna keep trying. Oh, fuck, I didn't flash.
Almost.
I wanted to I wanted to charge my QW, flash backwards to dodge the. I had it, dude. I had it. I know if I let that QW fly, I would have. His cooldowns are getting shorter.
Yeah. The only thing you
Fuck, there
had to
goes my
really do
guy.
there was just play around your minion wave. Because he can't E you if you're in your wave. Unless he like flashes on you or something, but then he has
Wait,
no
what?
flash in you.
What do you mean he can't eat me in my wave?
Like, because E can't go through minions.
What? So you're telling me if he collides with a minion first, he doesn't? I thought it was an AoE. What the?
No, like, you stand behind your minions, right? Because then if you E, it will hit the minion and not you. It does have like a
Oh,
small splash. So you don't stand on the
okay,
minion, but you
okay.
stand like behind it.
The fuck? I didn't know that. I thought it was just like a Shen taunt. Like if you're just in the range, you're just in the range. I I need to read, dude. I need to read the wiki. Um, I
I'm
have to
trying to
go back
think what
and fix the sideline again.
I'm trying to think what it is like. There's got to be some other dash that works like Gragasy that hits minions, but I can't think of one.
I don't like this. I want Viego here.
Oh, I didn't root. Shame.
Oh, wow. Holy fuck damage. Someone around the side. Nice pick. It was Smolder. I'm going mid, I'm going mid, I'm going mid. Nice pick, nice pick, nice pick. I don't think he has to go for anymore. I literally have to push this wave. I have ulti. I'm looking for flash ulti actually. Let me move, bitch!
The Burma CC.
We can keep going because we just killed Gragas. There's still numbers down, even though Briar comes back up. Oh fuck, nobody's tanking? Nobody's hitting her? Briar's coming. Oh, she's right there. Nice. Oh fuck! Oh Jesus Christ, she missed. That's game, that's game, that's game, that's game, that's game. Wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. He just hit 225. He just hit
Yeah, I think
225.
that's a smolder moment waiting to happen. Or not, he's dead. Oh,
Okay, that's game. That's game. That's game. That's game.
Alright, this was an incredibly scrappy game.
Wait!
Oh
It's
no,
not.
never mind.
Fuck, dude. We should have just done dragon. I'm letting this Lolborq support fucking debate me into such crazy things. I shouldn't be doing that. Look how much gold I have. What the fuck am I doing, man? If this was on the fucking stage, holy hell. That's not acceptable. Shojin. I started happy gaming there for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it happens
I
a lot,
get,
especially your teammates were doing the same thing, right? So it kind of like pack
I,
mentality.
I mean, for me, it's not because I'm trying to have fun. I am desperately trying to end it as fast as possible because then, like, fate is sealed. LeBlanc hasn't backed yet. That's really bad for us. Actually, this is super bad for us.
Yeah, it's okay to drop a Drake. The reason you drop it
Okay.
is because people died in that mid thing, like you dropped tempo. But now you have an inhib which gives you perma tempo, so you can use that to try to get Baron. And
Yeah.
like you don't really need to fight over mid tempo anymore. You can just play for top, and then look to move into Baron. And hopefully your team are on the same page. Oh, maybe. Very nice.
Briar's She's not ulting. Jin needs to be careful without his support. I need Talia to draw some more pressure bot lane before I can show. It's so sketchy. If Briar's here and she fights it, we lose.
Oh, but if you kill her, or Karma,
Goodbye.
nice. That's a free Baron. Could
We
be a
could
free
end
end
off
if
Smolder.
if she
Yeah.
kills Smolder, but that's an if. Oh, did she? Nope. Okay. Yeah,
If
go
Viego
Baron.
wants to do it, I'll do it. If Viego wants to end, I'll end. It's usually up to the jungler.
Oh, he did kill him. Okay, he could have ended, but the kill came in so late.
What the hell,
But I feel like
Talia?
at the time that you decided to start hitting Baron, it was the right call because Smolder was still alive. But then after he died.
30 seconds on Smolder, yeah, this is game.
Ooh,
Nice. Loyalty.
nice.
Oh. All right, we can happy game a little bit. Fuck, I missed everything. My team did exactly what they had to do this game. I guess now it's up to the jungler.
Nice. Okay, we got a win. It's huge.
I'm not gonna lie, that did wonders for my confidence.
Nice. Okay, so I think the early game is quite good. I think part of that is going to be that I was telling you how to control your wave, but your execution was very good. So if we can review it and look at why the things I was telling you to do are good, and then we can also touch a little bit on the mid to late game wave control as well. And then we can play in the review, we can kind of play the jungle tracking minigame. We can turn the fog off and like guess, and then we can turn the fog back on, you know?
Okay, yeah.
What is my login for my NA account?
Did you put
I
on
got
and
it.
send it to you?
No, it's fine. I'm using my account right now.
Okay.
It just doesn't have many champions, but I just want to open your replay.
Hmm.
I'm
At
still
first, I thought
streaming
like
now.
last week, I was mostly it was just like learning Varus, learning the combo, the rotation, and I thought maybe I didn't have enough. Maybe I wasn't drawing enough pressure. Like I wasn't winning like. I had the mentality that like maybe I wasn't good enough mechanically because the jungler kept coming and I kept losing the 2v1, and I thought that that was just like
I mean,
intended. That was the idea.
those are if you want to take those in solo queue, it's absolutely fine because those 2v1 situations are very, very good for practicing your mechanics. However, in like competitive, if you like you say you host a league, right? If you're ever playing in
Mhm.
any of those teams or like like talking to someone about how to play in those, then your coach is always going to say no, don't take those. That's something when I started playing for teams. My coach is someone that is still like very involved in my community. It's Foz. Foz was my coach at the time, and I
Mhm.
was a really flippy solo queue player where I would push so that the jungler would come top, and then I would try to 1v2 them on purpose. And a lot of the time it would work, but sometimes I would die and then he would flame me. So then I stopped doing it because it's not good gameplay. It's just good for practicing mechanics.
Mhm.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Let me bring the epic pen back in. Okay, so you were correct. Oh yeah, first things first. You were correct about like the best thing to do here is ward. Um, I can show you now which ward I was talking about. It's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
right here because if you think about the sort of radius, it's kind of like this. So if she's here killing her blue, you see her, and if she's here killing her gromp, you see her.
Okay.
Um, so it just sees both. I think it actually maybe it even gives like actual vision on the camp, which gives you the camp respawn timer as well. Um, but yeah, that this is the spot I was talking about, or trying to talk about. It's very hard to explain in words. Okay, so our first three waves are very standard. I think you're going to do this every single game on Varus, right? It's the slow push, use our level advantage to get a really good trade. This game you did very, very well. Like, the only thing I could fault, there's like very minor things, like here you said you could have got an extra auto on him to keep your stacks up. Other than that, like, the only thing you did wrong was take that tower shot at the end. Like, this is great. He goes into you, he just takes a billion damage. Did you miss some XP there, maybe?
I got greedy for that last
Yeah, we
auto.
probably should have just walked back in and got the XP instead of going for that last auto and taking a turret shot, but still, we're in a very, very good spot. And if we put the fog on blue, right? No, on red. We're red. Because of this ward, we're like, oh, Briar is starting bot side because her blue is still up. So we're expecting her to come top at 315. So what I'll do is I'll turn the fog off at 315 and we can see what she's doing. And also, when we crash this wave, I want to talk to you about options. Because this is the ideal situation. We got a very, very big chunk. This guy used a potion and he's still half health. We shoved him in. We got a pretty decent amount of our farm. So right now, what are our options?
I could stay and harass him right now.
Yep.
I could stay in lane and not harass him, as in like just chill and wait for waves to come back to me, bounce back to me,
Okay.
or I could back and spend.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
though
those are
your two
my
real
options.
options are harass him under tower or base and spend. Now, a lot of the time, if you didn't get such a good trade early and you're weak side like this, I would say back and spend is pretty good because then you're going to come back to a nice safe wave as the jungler's top.
This is called the cheater, right?
It is
You
called a
push
cheater
in the
recall.
first
Yeah, this
wave.
is, you crash the first three waves and you recall and you come back and the wave's pushing into you and the jungler can't do anything to you and you just completely nullify the fact that they pathed to this side of the map. However, we could stay and squeeze a little bit harder here, which you do. I think, do you hit this Q or an E or something? Yeah, okay, so like, we squeezed really hard. And honestly, now, if you still wanted to back, I think you've got enough minions that it's okay, but I think backing generally, you want to be decisive about it, you want to back quick. One thing I would say here is that you now want the wave to come back to you. So I would avoid hitting his minions. Because now, are we at 315 yet? No, we're at 301. But we're going to be at 315 soon, which is like that, ooh, I'm about to get ganked sort of thing, right? Or you could just say 3 minutes if you want to be really safe about it.
Yeah.
So do you remember when we were talking about the advantages and disadvantages of each wave thing?
Yeah.
So
right here I'm open.
well, after the tower kills these minions, what's going to happen?
Oh well, then it's gonna come back to me, and then I'll be safe.
It's going to slow push this way. And the advantage of it slow pushing into us is that we're safe from jungle ganks. So what we've done by doing these first 3 waves into the tower and then letting it bounce back is we've given ourselves exactly the wave state that we want for the situation. So it's the correct wave state for the situation. So ideally we want it to push to us, so we want to avoid hitting minions. And now you're kind of just looking for the Briar, I guess, which is fine. You're not missing anything by doing it.
I kind of wanted to fake to the enemies that maybe I had a ward, and so, you know, like psychologically speaking, if you were the Gragas and you saw Varus walk in to the pixel, you would assume he warded it. So you would tell Briar, hey, it's warded. So she would assume it's warded when in reality I put my ward somewhere else.
I really like fake wards like that. I think it's a good thing to think about. The only downside here is that he can't see you. So he doesn't actually know that you're doing it. But I really like the concept. So if we toggle the fog off now, right? We were expecting that Briar's going to be finishing her last camp about 3:15. So at 3:07, what do you think Briar is doing right now?
She should still be on the Gromp.
I think she's going to be on Gromp, yeah. Unless she did the slightly more efficient clear, which is to do Gromp before blue, because then it sets her respawn. But that's like jungle coaching, right? We can ignore that. Okay, she's actually clearing very, very slow. She's still on blue. So we're fine, but if she was like really good and had an optimized clear, then she should probably be on Gromp right now. And she is roughly where we expected her to be. So that's good. We can put it back on red, and then we can play it again later. Okay. Do you know why I didn't want you to base here? Because you started channeling your base and I told you not to.
I don't think I have anything to spend, really.
I mean, you could get like a longsword, which would be fine. It's still an item advantage.
Also, that would give him an opportunity to back, and that means the HP that I worked so hard to get rid of, like this pressure that I built up, is all just gone.
Yeah, so if we think about it from his perspective, he has 2 options if you base. He can either slow push this, or he can fast push this. Okay? If he fast pushes, he's going to get his own base off, which is not the situation we want him to be in. If he slow pushes... do you remember when we were slow pushing from like this sort of state? And we were making Gragas miss experience.
Yeah, we were trying to last it as slow as possible.
So yeah, so if we back there, he can do that to us. Whereas if we back... Sorry, I'll get rid of this box in a minute. I just want to pause at the right time. If we back here... do you see how he can't do that? Because like he can't slow push this. It's a giant wave under his tower. It's not going anywhere. And like when this next minion wave comes, these minions are hitting the tower, so they're not killing the minions. So all the XP is still there for us. So the reason
he doesn't have an option. He had like it. So
yeah.
What you're saying is if I back, I'm allowing him control over the wave right now, the wave state.
Yes.
But if I stay, I can control what happens.
Pretty much, yeah. If you back, you're letting him either deny you creeps or push and get his own recall. Because you didn't back on your crash, you're now backing like after your crash, if that makes sense. If you were, it's not a terrible recall. Like, let's say you were 1 HP and you needed to recall, right? It's not the worst recall in the world, but it's not a good recall. A good recall would be...
It's not good
Now,
because
this would be a great
he
recall.
could deny me stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's one
this would be a
time.
great recall because you would recall. While you're recalling, he'd still be killing these minions. And then you'd be walking back, and then the next wave would come, and then it would push into you, and you would come back and you would collect XP while it pushes into you. Whereas the next one, it's like he's pushing into you while you're in the base, you're not collecting the XP. So yeah, that's why I told you to stop your back. One thing you can be punished for, this is a small mistake you made. So in these situations, what you want to do, because now we're almost at 315, right?
I mean, somebody pinged that there's vision in that bush just now on the blue team.
So we're at 315. This is like oh, Briar, we expect her to be top. She's barely scratched her grump. I don't know why she's so slow, but regardless.
Assuming she's good.
We think she could be here.
Right.
So what we want to do is just walk up for the XP. Sometimes you can just do it in the bush. So like now, whether you are here or here, does anything change regarding these minions?
No, they're not gonna die. Like,
yeah.
I can definitely just wait.
Yeah, you can. That's the advantage of it slow pushing into you, and that's why it's so easy to avoid ganks when it's slow pushing into you, because you can just stand here and wait, because this is coming. So we can just be patient.
Slow pushing means that my wave is weak, meaning that my wave is not killing the stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry,
like this wave's gonna die so fast.
Take your concept, and then I have to chew it up, and then say the exact same thing but in different words.
No, it's good. It's like when you're at school and you like write things down, right? It just helps it stick in your brain.
Yeah. And I do know you mentioned that she could have wrapped around if she was really desperate.
Okay, one more thing that I want to talk about with jungle tracking, and then we're going to stop with jungle tracking and go back onto wave management. But I think they're kind of in line, because you kind of want to manage your wave around what the jungle's doing. That's why I'm doing them together. There's a thing at 3 minutes 30 that you always expect the jungler to be doing.
Scuttle crab.
Yeah, so at 3:30 you're thinking, okay, she's doing this. And then what are Briar's options after Scuttle Crab, realistically? I think she has 3. This into...
I guess a gank?
Yeah, she can do top, she can do mid, or the third one is she can just recall. So we only have to play around her for a little bit. Like, by 3:45, I think it's safe to say she's decided not to gank. So what's going to happen now is that this wave, we're going to start pushing back out, right? Off of our tower.
Yeah.
But why do we feel safe to push this out?
Because now there's nothing left on the top side. If she wants to gank me, she's going to get nothing compared to...
There's absolutely nothing for her to do top. Exactly. So we played our wave perfectly around the enemy jungler this game. And also around our jungler, because...
Like,
Sorry,
go ahead. Like such a gamble for her, because I mean, she can do the psychopath thing and gank me, but she's probably she's probably weighing the pros and cons. It's just the risk, the loss of how much she could just essentially, if she fails to gank me, she's going to sit for the next 30 minutes doing absolutely nothing. She might as well have AFK'd.
I mean, she has to recall and run bot after a gank.
Then I get upset.
Yeah. Where do we... Let's play the game again. Where do we think Briar went? After she did the Scuttle Crab at 3:30, right? So she probably killed it around 3:40, 3:45, something like that. Where do we think Briar is right now?
She's just recalled. She's in base, having bot lane.
Yeah, so I reckon she's about here. Maybe if she had a really fast recall and she's like very, very efficient, then she's on the Krugs. Let's see. No, yeah, she's still only just recalling. Okay, this jungler is... The enemy jungler was very, very slow this game. So we've got so much time. Now, obviously, we don't know we have this much time because... Wait, do we see her? I don't think so. Yeah, but we don't know we have this much time. But we can assume that we have, like, the normal amount of time, right? Let's say she's at this T2 turret. She's going to want to do her Krugs, and then her Raptors, and then her Wolves, and then her Gromp, And this is why it's better to do Gromp before blue, because then they spawn like that, you know? But yeah, she's going to want to do that. So we've got like the time it would take her to run across the entire map and farm 4 camps to push this out, where we're just completely safe. And then do you remember why we pushed at the speed we did here?
We slow push to try and deny Gragas as many minions as possible.
Yeah, so let's count them. Can speed it up. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Looks like 3. Yeah. So we denied 3 melee minions of experience, which is a lot of experience. Like, the melees give way more experience than the ranged. And if we can keep... You know how when you're playing like a competitive game, or you watch competitive, and both top laners are really good at wave control and really good at playing around their waves, and it almost looks like ping pong. It's like this guy slow pushes, and then this guy slow pushes, and then this guy slow pushes. You know when it looks like that?
Mm-hmm.
When we do that, we can accrue leads by constantly denying as many minions as possible. We can snowball it. So now, like, on his pushback, we want to lose as few as possible. And do you know what determines, like, what makes it easier to lose less minions? I'll give you a clue. It comes back to, like, the original, where we crashed on wave 3.
Let me think. How for me to lose less minions? That would be if my wave wasn't too strong.
On your recall, I mean. So, like, if we crash this wave and recall now, why would it be a good base?
Oh, because it's gonna bounce back to me. I'm not gonna be in too much of danger of losing stuff because it's gonna come onto my side.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard for Gragas to zone me off the XP if it's on my side.
Yep. He actually... Okay, I'm going to explain something to you now, which is probably the last concept that I'm going to explain. So if we're basing now, right?
Yep.
The next wave... Do you remember what was causing him to lose XP? It was... The wave was like here, and your... Or like, in reverse, obviously. His blue minions were killing your red minions.
Yep.
But in this situation, that can't happen because
my red minions are killing the turret.
They're hitting the turret, yeah. So they're never going to hit the minions because they're hitting the turret instead. Exactly. So if we base right as it crashes, and the more minions we get onto the turret, the bigger the wave, the less, even less damage the turret's going to take, or the minion wave's going to take. So if we contrast our base, because I think we could base a bit quicker, but other than that, it's good. The timing of it's really good. And he actually clears it too fast, so he doesn't give himself a slow push. So now let's see how many minions we lose compared to him. 1. Is it just 1? I think it might just be 1. Yeah. So just through this passage of play alone, if I let you kill this wave, because that's like the same wave he's killed. Okay. If we look at your XP and his XP, you're level 6 this far through, and he's level 6 this far through. So you've gained that bit of XP. It doesn't look like a lot, but it means that your level 7 timers are desynced, so you could maybe abuse that. And then your level 8 timers are desynced, and you know, you can keep pushing it, right? If you do that every single time, let's imagine, you see how you got, what is it, like a fifth of a level up on him maybe? So if we played out this exact same situation on this slow push and then this slow push and then this slow push, if we did it 5 times, we'd be up an entire level off of nothing. Like, we're just up a whole level for free if we did that. Because you're going to base more than 5 times in the game, right? So if you did that every single time, you'll just be up a full level for free. So yeah, that's why... Because I was telling you in game that these were the correct decisions to make, but I feel like, again, we're seeing it here, right? He's losing these minions. This is why it's the correct decision. So now that I've explained everything, is there any part of it that doesn't make sense?
No, I think everything makes sense. I
Awesome.
don't think I have any questions. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's now for the remainder of the lane phase, we'll go back to. There weren't any opportunities for you to freeze in this game. I don't think Varus top really does a lot of freezing though. It's a lot of slow pushing so that you have the minion advantage so that you can harass. Like, it's a lot easier to harass when your wave is bigger and you've got more XP. So let's go back. Do you remember when we started our push around here? We're doing our slow push. After he crashed, we were thinking about where Briar is, right? She recalled and she came out of base. So when we finish our push, where did we finish it? Sorry, hang on, I'm a bit lost in the VOD. Okay, we finished it. We finished it and we're recalling now. So given that we correctly deduced that Briar was around here somewhere when we started our push, now that we've finished it, where can we expect her to be?
Sorry, say that again?
So when we started this slow push, last time we played the Where is Briar minigame, we assumed she was somewhere around here.
Because she wasn't on our side.
So now it's 3 waves later, and we've pushed. So where do we think Briar is right now? If we play the minigame.
Now on top side.
Should we have a look? No, she is in...
She is so slow, dude.
Why is she in base? The fuck happened?
I think maybe
she died.
Maybe they
I didn't realize she died. Okay, that does change jungle tracking if the enemy jungler dies.
Yeah.
But yes, if let's say she was just doing like a normal thing, right? We would expect her to be in her top side. And that's going to be like the unless she does, like, here she's doing something weird. Unless the junglers do something weird, that's the kind of thing that you want to use to, like, figure out where they are. So, but do you see how, like, for the first 6 minutes of the lane, what the enemy jungler does for the first 6 or 7 minutes is very predictable a lot of the time. Like, we essentially pathed out what she should have done. As soon as we knew where she started, it was as if we downloaded the first 7 minutes of her game. In regards to playing top lane. So yeah. that's the jungle tracking, because it gets more and more and more difficult the later into the game you go, because there's more and more and more options. There's more objectives spawning. She can, like, start skipping camps and stuff more easily, because the difference between, like, skipping a camp at level 5 instead of skipping your first clear where you get all your XP to level 4, she can start skipping camps more freely now. But these first 6 minutes are like, your entire game revolves around your early game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if we can perfect the jungle tracking in this game, and if we can make as many of our games have the wave management that matches what the junglers are doing, it would be very, very good. So what I want to do next is I'd like to propose you some other scenarios about the junglers. We'll turn the fog off, and say, if the jungler's doing this, what should we do? And stuff like that. But before we move on, is there any questions that you have about what we've covered?
Does any of that jungle tracking, is any of that affected by what my jungler is doing? Because
figuring out what the enemy jungler is doing isn't, but deciding what you want to do with your wave is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I do know that when the jungle starts on your side, that means he's pathing away from you, which makes you weak side.
Yeah. So let's actually use that as our first scenario, okay? So let's go back to... a lot of this review is going to be stuff in the early game, and then I'll cover some, like, mid-late game stuff. Because last week we covered, like, the laning phase, right? But here we're covering jungle tracking and wave management. And I feel like early game is easiest to demonstrate it. So let's say where are we? Let's say at this position... Oh, I'm on blue, that's why it's very hard to see you. So, do you remember, this is our third wave, right? Right at the start of the game, we've already got our really big trade, and then we get another one as he goes to farm the wave.
Yeah.
So let me propose you a situation right now as this E hits, okay? Instead of Viego doing this, like he did, he's doing the same thing as Briar. So Briar's doing this, and Viego's doing this. How might this change our plan?
That would mean that if Viego and Briar fight, well, that means there is a possibility that they'll meet.
Yep.
And that if there's a possibility, I'll have Prio because Gragas, 1, doesn't have HP, 2, he has to catch this wave, 3, he has to go around this big ass slab of rock. Meanwhile, I can just get to Viego a lot quicker.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%. So as a general rule of thumb, right, if the enemy's coming towards you and yours is coming away, you can look for a cheater recall, because then you're completely safe. However, if the junglers are matching, like this, then I would stay, because it allows you to move with your Prio and play around Viego. Like, if Briar tries to gank you, you can 2v1 her and kill her. Or, you know...
Or if, like, Viego maybe feels
maybe he goes for an invade or something.
Kill Briar, yeah.
Yeah, then you can move with him. Exactly. So, yeah, as obviously we didn't cheat a recall here, but I think that's purely because we got such a massive resource advantage. But as a general rule of thumb, what I do in top lane is if I get this third wave crash and I'm weak side like this, then I'll recall. If I get this third wave crash and both junglers are pathing top, I'll stay, because then it's advantage for us because I have Prior. So yeah, you're 100% correct. Really, really nice analysis. Okay, let me pose you another scenario then. What if we, in this situation, this all depends on us knowing what Briar's doing as well. If we know that Briar pathed bot, and we know that Viego also pathed bot, what could we do?
Then I could just harass Gragas for...
Yeah, exactly. It's just completely free harass for you. Yeah, really good. I like that. And then last scenario, what if we know that Briar is pathing bot, and we know that Viego is pathing top?
Then I should try... Then there's a dive opportunity.
Yeah,
because
perfect.
he's weak side.
Perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted to get out of you. Exactly. So there's kind of 4 scenarios, right? Because there's two ways either jungler can path: this way, this way, this way, this way. And if you can win your early lane like you did, which means you decide where the wave is, then we have a winning option for every single scenario. Because if we're weak side like this game, we can just base. Even if we obviously we got this really big trade and it's nice to squeeze more, so we just don't base, but we play passive, right, as if we'd based. If our jungler's pathing top and theirs is pathing top, then you can go and play around your jungler. If our jungler's pathing top and theirs is pathing bot, then you can look for the dive. And then if both junglers are pathing bot, then you can just look for free harass. You just keep harassing him. So perfect. So that gives us all 4 options that the jungler could do realistically as like a full clear. Obviously, there's really, really cringe stuff where we could know that Briar is starting here and then she does this, 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 and then comes top. And then what should happen is she loses her entire bot side, but sometimes in solo queue she doesn't, and it's really tilting as a top laner. But aside from stuff like that, yeah, that was really, really good that you got everything right there.
I mean, because on the bot side, it's more or less the same in terms of that. Like, if the jungler is pathing away from me, then, we're probably going to cheat her. And then, if he is pathing towards us, we're double range, like Varus Ashe, then we can just harass under turret, look for dive opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. So when we go for the second game today, the first thing I want you to do is see if we can figure out what the junglers are doing, even if it means maybe we can go and ward blue level 1. Just try and ward blue just to see if we can figure out where they're starting.
You're sending me on a suicide mission.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be really good if we can, because then we can actually do the thought experiment, and then I want to get you to like judge the situation based on where we think the junglers are, and then decide what your course of action should be at this point. So that's going to be our first thing in the next game. Okay, so we've covered quite a lot. Do you have any questions?
Just real quick about the ward thing. Like, certain top laners I can do that against, but like certain ones I probably it's super
Yeah,
unsafe,
if we
right?
think
Like,
it's reasonable, we'll go for it. If we don't think it's reasonable, we won't. I don't think it's something that you should like be trying to do in games. I just think for practicing this, it's a lot easier to practice this stuff if we get info on the enemy jungler compared to if we don't. One thing that have you ever seen people crash the second wave in mid in pro play?
not really.
Okay, so a lot of the time in pro play, people will crash the second wave. Let's say Talia manages to crash second wave here, right? And then she'll walk like this and drop this ward.
Oh, that ward I've seen.
Yeah. So the reason that ward's so good is because that ward gives us full information. Because let's say this game we see Briar here, and we press tab, and Briar has 8 CS. Why is my mouse so thick? There we go. Well, yeah, we press tab and Briar has 8 CS. Then we know that she did red and Krugs, and now she's here. But if we see her here and she has 12 CS, then we know she did this, this, and this. And now she's here. Because each camp is 4 CS. So the reason pro players love this ward so much is because through CS tracking, you can deduce exactly what the enemy top jungle's doing. So a lot of the time, if your mid gets that ward while you're pushing, you can check that as the top laner, and you can figure out where she is.
The only options I would ever see her have in terms of CS would be 8 or 12.
Yeah, I don't think you ever see the enemy jungler on chickens.
And 8 means that she's pathing upwards, 12 mean that she's pathing downwards.
Yeah, because 8 means she's done 2 camps. So she's done red, Krugs, and now she's on this. 12 means she's done 3. So she's probably done top quadrant, and then this. The only time it differs is if like she's done an invade or something, or maybe like some people will start chickens as well. It's quite a popular thing in pro play because it avoids that scenario, kind of. Because what happens is you ward it and you see that chickens is gone, and then you're like, okay, maybe he started chickens, or maybe he was just very fast at clearing. But yeah, I feel like that's maybe overcomplicating it. But yeah, sometimes your team will ward for you during the process of you pushing this out, and then you can get information if you don't get it yourself.
No, that makes sense. On my amateur team, my mid laner likes to go for that ward a lot, but I never knew how to use that information.
Okay, cool. Maybe take that into your amateur team though. Tell the rest of the team.
Or like he'll play Diana and he'll check if the crows are up with his Q.
Oh, that's quite nice. I actually really like that because it also drags the chickens into the lane, and then if the jungler comes to take them, they're not there. They have to wait for them to come back, and it slows down the enemy jungler. It's really cool. Okay, when did we get this tower? Still up here. Okay, it's here. Okay, so do you remember from this position, this is like now mid-game rather than early game. I think it's quite late for this tower to drop at 19 minutes. Normally mid-game for the top laner, I would say, would start sooner than this. But here it started quite late. I think part of that is that we couldn't really pressure that much because we were weak side so often. But do you remember what the general strategy was as Varus from this point?
Is we want to crash this wave to the turret so that my minions are dying to the turret, and if nobody's there to pick it up, that's just XP and gold going to waste.
Yeah, when I'm playing with amateur teams, I've kind of quit to do coaching and IRL stuff instead, but I was playing for one fairly recently, and the term I would always use to kind of get my teammates on board that now is a good time to do something somewhere is they're bleeding through top.
Yeah, they're hemorrhaging.
Yeah, they're just bleeding golden XP. And like somebody has to go and respond to this, which means that we can create a numbers advantage somewhere else. So that's exactly what we want to do. So like in this scenario, I'm just going to turn fog back on because it's easier. In this scenario, we push it, and now unfortunately, they've done the same thing in bot, so it's not really a numbers advantage. It's more equalized because it's like split map. But if you imagine this hadn't happened in bot, we would have a big numbers advantage here. We would have an extra player.
Why did that happen? Because
Talia just completely dropped bot lane. Like,
she was supposed to go bot and catch that?
yeah, what Talia should be doing on the other side of the map, your two solo laners should both be trying to get the waves into this position and then converging. Or if one of your solo laners is like a Fiora, then maybe the rest of the guys should play around her in the side lane. But with like mages and AD carries, like a lot of the time what I'm teaching you for this top lane wave management stuff is what mid laners are going to do, because their champions can't side lane. They can't like 1-3-1. So it's like you get the side lane into a good position and then you leave it and you go group. So this is the position Talia wants the wave in when she groups. But instead she's grouped on this position, which is really bad. Because we don't have prior, like, we are hemorrhaging minions.
Yeah. How is Gragas ahead of me in gold?
I can't remember what happened. Maybe he grabbed like a shutdown, or he actually has more CS. I think your last hitting could just do with a little bit of work. Because even at the in the very early game, we played the waves perfectly and we got an XP advantage, but we were behind in CS, even though we got the XP advantage. And that's just like it's just, you know, a lot of the time people just need to focus a bit more on last hitting. I think a lot of people get it on.
Memory.
Yeah, a lot of people autopilot it. If you just dedicate like even like 3% of your conscious thought to it, you'll see your CS per minute go up massively, because there's just something in your brain like, no, I should wait an extra millisecond for this one. Yeah, got it. But also you can just practice it in practice tool, whenever you feel like. And that's what do you remember I gave you that drill last time? That's what I was trying to promote with that, where it was spawn a target dummy and then get all your last hits, and between the last hits you would auto this and walk into the bush.
I tried. It was so hard.
Yeah, it's just to get
it just goes to show that,
it's just to get the muscle memory of like, and like figuring out where your windows between your last hit are to hit, and then things like that. I think it's quite a good thing to keep practicing whenever you get time to go in practice tool and just mess about for a bit, maybe as like a warm-up before your games.
Yeah, I usually do. For the last, so after we did the coaching session, I did 3 days in a row where it was, I did the warm-up and then I hopped into 2 ranked games.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a good, I like that. I like blocks of 3. I think 3 is like the optimal, because after 3 you start not focusing, but
for sure,
I feel like up to 3 you kind of take things from the previous game and improve on them. Like the first one can be kind of rusty, the second one's pretty good, and then I feel like 3 you're very sharp, and then by 4 you start to go back down again. Like you get tired and drained.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you remember, I think it's here where I told you how to safely push out, because if we're going to push this out, right, we're going to need at least 2 waves. There's going to be this one and this one, if you can see on the minimap.
Yeah.
Do you remember how I told you to safely push those out rather than the dangerous way?
So I have to I have to wait till the last possible second, because it takes the wave longer to die, and that means it's not moving to their side as quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you slow push this one and then you fast push the next one. So, because if we fast push this one, right, and it's gone, then these minions, this is exactly what you described. I just want to draw it on the screen because I'm recording a video as well. I'm fairly confident you understand this now because you just explained it. So maybe the minions would meet here, because these walk down here and these walk up here, and they meet somewhere around here. Whereas, and it's quite dangerous to push the wave from down here. Whereas if we slow push it, these minions will walk all the way up here and meet here again. And then we can fast push that one, and then we've got 2 stacked waves here that will go here, and we cleared it from the safety of here. That's the concept. Okay, so we do that here. And then I feel like once you know these concepts for pushing out the side lanes, like here we shove this one out, and then we go and look to play with our team. Once you know this, you'll find yourself never really dying in side lane anymore. And you'll start, like here you're feeling kind of unsafe, but I would have just pushed it out. I wouldn't feel too unsafe here. Maybe it would be ideal for it to be a little bit closer to you, Like
I feel like
if it
Briar
was
and
here or
Gale could
something.
have moved for me here.
Possibly.
I'm actually not sure why she left, because Briar was in position to gank me. Like, if I was her, I would have been looking like, oh, Varus is going to be, you know, pushing this wave for the next 20 seconds. Like, I can
Yeah.
wrap around try bush. That's why I blue trinketed that try, because I was totally expecting her to be in there. But she walked away.
Also, the stronger you are, the less scared you have to be about this. A lot of the time, as the top laner, especially as Varus top, if you're like winning lane, you might be the strongest player in the game. A lot of the time, this particular game we're not, but that makes it even harder to punish you on these slow pushes. And then once we've pushed these, we're just going to rotate into our team and play with our team, and then someone from the enemy team is going to come and respond to this, and then while they respond to it, we're going to have numbers advantage, and then we'll come back and push it in again, and then it's very almost flowcharty, like rinse and repeat, and it just gives you a really safe, stable way to impact the lane and use your lead. Because if let's say we're even further ahead, right? Let's say this isn't 7k, it's 10k. So we're very strong. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If all we do is sit in this side lane against Gragas and clear waves and we push and we make ourselves available to ganks, we're not really using this 10k very well. Whereas if we push it out and we go and group and we bring our 10k into this, into this communal 40k, then we use it more effectively. And also in solo queue, it helps your teammates int less. Because you're there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just power of numbers, and they're obviously going to die less if you have an extra person there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so first and foremost, do you have any more questions about minion waves or jungle tracking? And then after that, do you have any questions at all?
Is there anything I need to know about Grub or Herald timers?
I
I mean,
believe,
this game was easy. Viego was in a good spot. I was in a good spot. Mid lane was in a good spot. So
yeah.
Grubs kind of were automatically his.
We'll turn the timers on as well,
But
make it easier to see
I
them.
just feel like they could have been tougher. They could have been a tougher take if Briar wasn't, I don't know, like jerking off for the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it it depends where your jungler is, right? So we got Dragon kind of as a... I would say we got Dragon as a result of bot being strong side. Like, our jungler is bot side. We're getting Dragon relatively close to spawn. In fact, I'd maybe even started it on spawn. Which means he's not going to be top side for the grub spawn. Like, on spawn.
So if Briar's faster, she should just head up to the Grubs and
Yeah, and that's like a trade, right? They get this, we get this. A lot of the time, objective trades happen. But what you can do, well, what you did was correct, right? Our opportunity to take grubs comes on this push. Because right now, if they wanted to take grubs, Gragas could have not based and he could have taken grubs with his prior. But then we start our slow push and we get our push in, and then after this, we have prior. And then we can take grubs, and like Viego's coming to it, and you saw that he's coming to it, and you push the wave, because your map awareness is pretty good. Like, you saw him doing this. And then you also correctly identified that you don't need to be there. Now, I do think, like, in your amateur team, because I didn't realize you actually played in one. I thought you just hosted the league, from what you said. But if you play in one, something you can look for here with, like, Talia and Viego after you do this is because you're pushing this for prio, but it ends up that, like, you get it anyway. You can, as a result of it being pushed, you can try and 3-man dive it. That's something that you'll see a lot in pro play, is that the numbers advantage after the objective spawn will be transferred into a side lane dive, either top or bot.
Makes sense. Yeah. I'm the support player on my team.
Okay. Well, a lot. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes, like, if you had prio in bot, the
Yeah, like
LeBlanc
Leo
might be here,
can
and
or
then
whatever.
it can be a 4-man dive. And
And
that's,
then I think Gragas would just mental boom.
yeah, I mean, it's just like you die and you lose this giant stacked wave, and it's like, well, I mean, they had 4 people here. I don't know what you want me to do. And the correct thing for Gregis to do is to literally identify that they can do that, and just leave and just drop the waves. And it's so annoying. But you know, it happens to AD carries too. It happens to top laners and AD carries. Top laners are a little bit better at like outplaying dives if they feel like they can. So yeah,
I
that's
think
that.
that's about it. I
Okay,
For
cool.
the most part, this game kind of went without a hitch, so
Yeah,
I'm a little grateful for that. It was easier to see the concepts without the Clown Fiesta.
awesome. So what I want to get you to do now is like I'm gonna ask you the question of like, or I'm gonna sort of pose you the question of like, we're in what scenario are we in? Where are the junglers? Like while you're in another live game. So if you want to queue up to one, and then I'm gonna try to get you to like deduce what the best way to play your wave is.
Okay.
How do I? No, that's not my Discord. This is my Discord. There we go, and then I put that on this screen. Yay, I did it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty lucky that Briar was she's a pretty slow clear.
Yeah, I think her clear can definitely be faster than like 9 minutes though. And then
Yeah, I
also the
interesting.
recall at like 4 minutes 15 after only just doing scuttle crab into immediately die is not optimal.
Mid lane did well too. If mid lane had lost, I probably would have had to pay attention to mid lane roaming top as like a second jungler kind of. I
Yeah,
know that can happen
yeah,
sometimes.
it does get more complicated once you start factoring in what the enemy mid and enemy support are doing. But the primary
But
one is the jungler.
the concept is generally the same, is that if I know that a dangerous situation is coming for me, I can manipulate the wave to have it be more favorable.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
It's just the difference of more variables to consider and pay attention to. Like if bot lane was losing, then I would have to pay attention to. I didn't even look bot at once. You know, I had no idea who killed who, what was going on. But if they were losing bot and you know Smolder's just free farming, then I really have to pay attention to Leona coming top on her back.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. It's all about like when they can create numbers advantages, and yeah, there's only so much you can do with your wave as well. Like if you're pushing at the correct time according to the enemy jungler, and then the enemy support comes on their own, because a lot of the time the support's going to want to play around the jungler, and the support comes on their own, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, why? But a lot of the time, because they're going to be like, let's say it was that second push, right? We're crashing the wave. We're level 5. I think we actually hit level 6 on our slow push, and we're crashing the wave. The support's going to be like level 3 or 4, so you can a lot of the time just brute force the wave in. Mid's more scarier than support, but the main one you want to play around is jungle, because a lot of the time the mid and the support are going to be trying to play around the jungle as well.
Yeah. And also they'll lose something if they want to come top,
Yeah,
unless they're
yeah,
already winning.
yeah. Like if you survive a gank and crash the wave, it's a huge win because you lost nothing. Even if they take like 90% of your health, you just recall because you crashed the wave.
Rumble's a pretty fast jungler. Or at least he should be. I haven't seen him in a while,
I've
but
not seen his
I mean the
clear
flamethrowers already
since
good.
since they nerfed his Q. I've not seen the clear times. So yeah, with these concepts in the early game, based on like where junglers are starting and what you can do with your wave, I feel like something, because you've got your amateur league, so you'll see a lot more games than a lot of people. Even if you're not playing that many games, you'll see a lot of games. So what you can do is you'll probably be able to find examples where you can spot like the threat of a gank because you'll see like, oh, this jungler started on this side, but this person's got a wave that's going to be like pushing in 3 way or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do I keep barrier versus Mordekaiser?
Um, yeah, I think so. The only other thing I'm considering is Ghost,
Me
but
too, but
I think
the
Barrier
barrier
is
will
just
be nice
better.
against Shyvana.
Yeah, I think Ghost is too weak now. It doesn't last long enough, and the cooldown's too long.
I was also thinking, like, if I take Ghost, I'm gonna have to play the spacing game a lot better. If I'm taking barrier, I can literally just we can stand on top of each other, and the first top laner to die
Yeah,
dies.
you can just eat a Q with the Barrier.
Mordekaiser. First thing he should start is the Q,
He'll
the
start with his
mace
Q.
spam.
Yeah. So when you're looking for your autos on him, just try not to get hit by that at the same time.
I should be able to go for an early ward, especially against these guys.
Yeah. You can get one onto their red buff or even chickens. Chickens might be good. But a lot of the time people sweep the early chickens ward because they're trying not to get caught on their chickens. But again, I'm not sure what like the understanding of the level 1 vision game is in Emerald solo queue. I know that in Master solo
It really
queue,
depends on person to person. Like, for
yeah,
example, Viego wanted to invade for Vision, and there were 5 people down there. This time, you can't even get people to 5 point. It's I don't know, like it's a gamble.
yeah.
Emerald, well, because Emerald used to be old Plat, and Plat was people who were just like good enough to start mastering mechanics and game knowledge.
Emerald
The
is a
macro is not perfect yet.
Emerald is a crazy rank bracket, by the way. Like,
Can I go for this?
uh, yeah, I
I
don't.
kind of don't want to. I really don't want to fuck up my level 1.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. If you don't want to do it, it's not a problem. But one thing that you'll have to check is whether Maud walks to lane late or whether enemy bot walked to lane late, so you can try and figure out where she is. But yeah, in Emerald, if you're Emerald 4 0 LP, you're top 12% of the player base. But if you're Emerald 1 99 LP, you're top 4%. So it's like a factor of 3 higher. Whereas Gold, it's like 50% at the bottom and 30%. Oh,
He's early.
well, he's definitely not leashing, so she could be pathing top. So let's assume she is. I think you just fight him and use your barrier, by the way,
Yeah, I
on
think I
on the next
win.
queue. Oh, unlucky.
I was late. Fuck.
If you barriered that queue, it's a massive trade win for you.
I thought I did.
Bear in mind the next minion is his level 2 timer. For his E. Oh, wait, what? Did he miss a minion of XP somehow? He did. Okay, so now we're pushing into them, right?
Yeah. I have no idea where the jungler started. Well, he
We're
didn't leash,
assuming she
but
started bot, yeah. So assuming that, we either want to let him push this... Oh, wait, what do we want the wave to do?
I want him to push it into me because
Yeah,
that means she's coming. That means she's coming at 3 minutes or 3:15. Or I mean, she's Trivana, but still, like she totally can come. No
nice.
way, that didn't hit. I should have.
Threaten him
I
on this
should greedy
cannon.
with the
His spells are on
9
cooldown.
Yeah, no
Nice.
attack speed for that. I should have greeted for the third auto into E. That's a yikes. 3:17. Around.
So this is when we'd expect her to be on top crab. And your wave state's fine because you're not gankable. Nice. Oh, look, she's exactly where we thought. Okay, now what do we do with the wave if he bases?
flip push, didn't I?
Yep.
But I don't know if he will.
Yeah, you just play to the bottom side of the lane so that he can't hit you from the bush. You'll figure out whether he's based by whether he kills these melee minions or not. There you go. Like, he's not going to drop the melee minions to pretend to base. Unless he's a complete psycho.
I would. Actually, I had a feeling he was in that first bush because I showed up to lane late, like most top laners. Like, I mean, if I was a melee top laner and I knew I was facing a ranged, I would not let him have first touch on the wave. He did the right thing for himself. Dang. I could have autoed that one. I could have gotten that one.
Yeah, do you know when he hits level 6? Oh, actually, no, he missed a minion of XP level 1, didn't he? Do you know when he would normally hit level 6?
Nah.
Do you know when you will hit level 6? Let me put it that way.
Nah.
Okay,
After this wave?
it's exactly after this wave. So because he missed a minion, he doesn't get it off of this wave. But you will exactly get level 6 off of this wave.
Like you said.
He's not level
Shyvana's bot
6,
side.
so you could walk in and ward the, like, find out where he is. He TP'd, I think. Yeah, he did. That's unfortunate. His ult got rid of you.
I don't have the attack speed. I shouldn't have tried it.
It's okay. There's another wave management thing that I didn't really consider because it never happened in the other game, but just get your Zerka Grooves here. But it did happen in this game, so that's good. There's something else we can talk about in the review again. And then yeah, one more thing that kind of happened in this game is if we don't know where the jungler is, like if we have absolutely no information, we're just going to assume that she is pathing top. It's better to assume that she is than assume that she isn't.
It was just the attack speed difference. I'm pretty sure I could have won that. I never would have walked up if I didn't have the full confidence I would have won that. I think I could have. Bad barrier usage, bad flash usage.
The other thing that went wrong is you E'd as he was ulting you, so your E hit the ground in the real realm,
Never
whereas
procced.
you were in the death realm, so it never, yeah, it didn't hit him.
I have no idea where the jungler is. I think I'm still stronger than him. Now that the attack speed's been changed, like I have this attack speed. I actually think I can melt through him so long as he doesn't get his passive on me. She's bot side. Oh yeah. This is an
Perfect.
isolated 1v1.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Oh,
Minion is still mid as
I
well.
think he could have just kept clicking into him though. I like this stuff. I like it.
Yeah, maybe I could have. Shyvana left, so no idea where she is now.
Got 2 blight on him. I think you could have just walked up and got
I'm
another one on him.
scared of the jungler. Actually, no, if they're fighting bot side.
I think if you get 3
Lolborq is
blight.
missing.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. But remember, in these situations where they're around half health, if you get your 3 blight and then ult, it's you're gonna burst them. Another Q coming very soon. Nice! You blight cycled perfectly there. Really well played.
Holy shit.
You see how
Yeah.
with your blight cycling, you just stand there and win? That was what I was in the first session. That was the stuff I was trying to teach you. I mean, your blight cycling looks way better. I know you said you hadn't practiced much, but it's definitely better than last week. In
Well,
both games. You need to push the next
just
one too.
crash.
It
Fuck.
doesn't crash. You know
He has
the
TP.
easy way to check?
Looking at my own wave.
Yeah, it's mirrored. He doesn't have TP because he used it earlier.
Fuck.
It's fine. Crashing the wave's more important than getting every CS there. Now you're way stronger. Good. That's the best possible purchase there. I like it.
Pike's up here.
Oh, great, we're playing against a Pike.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, he'll fall off.
Yeah, it's just Pike's a hard support to play against this Varus because he's very good at ganking Varus. Alright, level 9, we got 5 points in W. Time to shred. Also, he built tabbies. He fell for the building armor into Varus thing. I think you can
Wait,
just...
I think he just
yeah,
has.
yeah.
Oh. Wow.
And
Wow,
we
that's
That's unfortunate. I think you could have just committed and gone for Mordekaiser rather than trying to turn on Pike, and that would have been your best play, but...
yeah.
And also, like, the Pike E was pretty easy to dodge with where he placed it. But I think you got too
I
tunneled on trying to
panicked.
run away, so you ran into it. It's a scary thing to play. Like, even the solo kill you just got at him, right? It's still kind of scary, even though you convincingly win it. It's like...
Well, because I only convincingly win it if I can dodge things correctly, like put in the schmoves, you know? It's not like an automatic win.
Yeah, a lot of the time it is, though. Like, if you're playing from ahead as well. It's just having the confidence to stand your ground. But what was
Giovanna
that?
just did grub, so we're gonna get Dragon off this. To be honest, it's not too bad. They committed so many resources to get me, and on the other side, they kind of equalized.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
it always feels a bit bad when, you get thrown to the wolves and but you're winning the other side of the map. The
No,
worst is
I
when
don't
you're
mind.
losing the other side of the map.
Yeah, no, that's horrible. That's horrible. You just think, okay, well, to be honest, I think it's over, guys.
Okay, I still think you can trade with this guy. He hasn't got Rylai's yet, which is like his big sort of makes it more difficult moment.
Oh, I flashed it
Didn't quite time it.
late. Oh, I
The
flashed it
sad thing is, I think
late.
you win if you flash it as well.
I know, because ulti was coming up. That's why I
Yeah.
flashed. It just comes out so much quicker than I think it does. I don't know why. I'll be strong once I finish my terminus. I just need to stop trolling. For me, actually, I do better after a loss and worse after a win.
Really?
I'm still there. Because I get overconfident, I get sloppy. And then after a lot, oh my god.
Actually really good that Rumble cancelled this back. Like, now you have so much... I think Maud has TP, maybe. But still, maybe you could look to kill him. He's got no ult.
Shiv just hit the play here. Or maybe Pike. I should. Mid lane's getting fucked up. Shut down. Let's go. We're back in the game. Mordekaiser had to back. And if he didn't, I kill him.
Yeah, I think he might TP. Maybe not.
It's pretty huge. Pike giving like that's honestly the best thing that can happen for Pike. He gets ahead, then gives over pretty big shutdown in the carry.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stops he's got.
Okay. Now
I don't see
you can still look to fight him as long as you've got like fancy feet. You just need to be very careful. You need to be more careful now that you don't get hit by things than you did before, because now he's got Rylai's, so now he can stick to you easier.
Yeah.
The Q is fine. It's the E you want to avoid. And when his E's on cooldown, you have a very big window where you can kind of play aggressive. There you go. Good spacing. Good. That's exactly what you want to do. And then once he misses the spell, you can look to get more aggressive again. Try and play in those windows where his spells are on cooldown. Oh no,
Fuck
that's
me, dude.
probably the worst possible outcome.
Yeah,
That's
that's
twice
okay.
that that's happened to you now as well.
I wasn't aware of the interaction.
Yeah, it's anything in the game in the Death Realm is like in a completely different plane of existence to the point that if you're in the Death Realm and you drop a pink ward, that pink ward is there in the Death Realm for the rest of the game until someone goes into the Death Realm and clears it. Like it is literally a second Summoner's Rift that exists entirely separately. So if you throw a skill shot and Maud ults you, that skill like someone else could still get hit by that Varus ult that you threw, but Maud can't because he's not there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's just try to.
I think it's just a matchup thing. I don't think I've ever played this matchup before in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
life.
yeah. Now we're
Or something.
now we're behind enough that I would recommend that you like stop trying to come back. Like until that death, I think it was fine to keep trying to. But now we'll just play to scale because that's the good thing about Varus. We can also just play to scale.
For sure. Game's not over yet.
So we'll just play like here. We'll catch our minions and then we'll just play to get our waves into good spots and then we'll play around our teammates because our teammates are stronger than us. Okay.
Nah, do not fight him. He will ulti you.
What do you think I don't like about this situation?
I'm not pushing he's not bleeding, he's not hemorrhaging.
Yeah, you could have pushed top wave here.
You have to fucking run from ward. Oh, well. That's Leona, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, just let her die for the Herald. Fine, you get the Herald. Don't know why Talon's going in.
I just mental boomed my team doing that. Whoops.
I don't think you particularly did anything wrong other than I guess the ult. And you could have pushed top. Well, that's it.
Picking Herald is nice because Baron Recall. Okay, not nice
He's
anymore.
got no ult because he just used it. But
Double
we're not
blast.
doing much damage right now, so we'll
Yeah,
just chill.
I got it back for Terminus. Yeah, Rumble didn't like that play. I think Rumble is the one who started it. To be honest, I don't like that play either.
I mean, Rumble
Uh,
did the right thing. He took
he
the
did, yeah.
objective. So we're gonna have a wave to catch in top. Yeah, ping them back while you catch the wave, and then you can look to play with them. Looks like maybe Mold took a reset. Can maybe push the next one quick, and then
Ezreal's not doing too poorly. I think we're definitely still okay. I feel like Pike can be here. Ooh, well,
nice barrier E, and then 2 more hits, and then a Q. Nice.
Pike is coming. Pike is coming.
Oh,
Pike's
blight
coming.
cycling. Beautiful. How OP is Varus?
Pike is not here. What?
How
I was
crazy is
totally
it that you win
expecting
that?
them both to come.
It's
He misses E. So well,
you
I
flashed
didn't
it,
have much
yeah.
of a choice. Yeah, I mean, when he was behind me, I was like, fuck, I have to fight this or I will die. So I just turned on the gas. Rumble's got that. So actually, I
Yep,
should be. And actually, Talon can side lane, so I go mid
correct,
now.
correct decision. Yeah, you already have like the position that you want that we were talking about that you wanted to get the wave in. It's already in it, so you can leave top for now and then go back to it when it's not in that position later.
I don't want to do that just yet. A little scary.
That Maud would be so tilted after what you just did. On the downside, he now
Oh.
knows that you can kill him, so...
Yeah, he's probably gonna be a lot more cautious next time. I was a lot faster on the ulti this time too.
Yeah, you did it before he could get in range to ult you.
I want
Also,
Talon here.
in like... I think you did it last game, I think you were good with it, but in team fights, you don't need to hit your blight before you ult. You can just ult people and then WQ them to start a fight.
Okay.
Like here, if that Leona stun landed before he could
Yeah,
dash away...
if she full comboed him, he was dead.
Yeah. And also, like, don't be afraid to fish with ult as well. Sometimes you'll miss one, but
He's dead, he's dead.
that's a very good ult. Okay, he flashed it. Light cycling.
Yep.
Nice.
Pokemon's tough. I know that thing's gonna hurt like hell. Azar.
Okay, they're in our top jungle. That does make it a bit difficult to go and play for top wave, but what can you do? We'll go play for top wave from base, because it's going to be on our tower soon. We'll go play for top wave, and then we'll group. If we can push an extra top wave to get it deep, so that we can play around dragon, like we get time to move to dragon, that would be really nice. That Maud just channeled recalls, so I think his intention is to push on base. So then while he's based, if we can push and then walk to dragon, it's going to be really good for us.
They're fighting them.
Problem you've got is he pushed it so deep that there's one more wave after this one.
Him?
But hopefully we can push this wave with no issues, and then we can go and play with that.
I don't know. They had lots of time to kill Ezreal. Might come for me now.
No, we're good. You can start walking down. Yeah, you can base and walk from base. That's pretty safe. Now we got top wave in a good position on Drake spawn. The only difficult thing is Ezreal's dead.
The thing is, it didn't make it all the way.
No, it's fine. It will still achieve the same thing. It just takes a little bit longer than if it hits the tower. Okay, Maud's in his ult. Dragon's gone, but we can look to kill Maud and then maybe look for Baron or something. Maud lived.
Has flashed.
Nice. Oh, shame we missed that, but maybe you can snipe. Awesome.
Show up, dude. I don't want to fight Grav. Guess I
Yeah,
do
I would just be
here.
looking to wait for the ult cooldown and then look for another little fish. And then at this point in the game, start being more flexible about which side lane is yours. As long as you're doing one of them, you're doing your job. So, like now when Talon's in topside, you could make bot your job after this tower. That's really aggressive and I fucking love it. I love
that
stuff
ulti
like
was
that.
fantastic from Rumble. That's too deep. It's too deep. That's way too deep.
That's okay. So we've got a side lane that's out of position. we can look to, since we're backing off. Like, as I'm backing off, I'm thinking, what am I going to do next? Like, after I back off here. I'm thinking maybe we can go and sort that bot side lane. Or we can
Yeah,
actually
I
win it
will.
and not back off. That works too. I was under the assumption they were going to actually push you back, but they didn't. So now I'm still thinking about this bot side lane, right? You see how we can go get Riftmaker and base, and then... Oh, we actually missed the Haunting, guys. I guess you didn't have enough for it.
Oops, I fucking...
It's okay. I would complete Riftmaker here, because a full item is more powerful. Yeah, you can... Yeah, sell Doran Blade's probably worth it. I think
So I
it's
get the double
close.
stacking on the Haunting
Yeah,
Gaze?
yeah, that's really good. They need to chill until you've got Brio. But this difficult situation could be like less difficult if we went and sorted this earlier.
You're right.
It's been like this for a while. But it's okay.
20...
We've got this. Oh.
Huh.
Nice. Just don't let the thingy happen, like the bad thing. Really close.
I have Barry in 1 second, Q in 1 second. He's gonna die. What the fuck am I doing? Shogun. Item set, man. Jesus.
Well, let's do like a little, like a mechanical thought experiment. There, when Mordekaiser walked into us, how do you think we could play it better?
I should have just started autoing to get the blight on.
Do you remember when you won the one in top lane, where you ulted him before he got in range to ult you?
I dodged the E as well.
I feel like that's the best way to play it, because then you're keeping him at range. And you're stacking up your blight. And you can like start, you can do like an ult, let it stack into a WQ. And then you can do 3 autos E, 3 autos Q, and finish him. Or you can just do a regular Q instead of a WQ off of your ult, so you can finish with the WQ. But again, these are all things that you'll like figure out and pick up the more Varus you play. You'll sort of see the line. It's almost like seeing a checkmate in chess. You sort of see the way that you can kill them because you know your damage.
Yeah. Like damage calc with ADCs.
Yeah, yeah.
I could have pushed more. I definitely could have pushed more. Let me handle Mordekaiser. Let me handle Mordekaiser. Bro, let me match him, please. Okay, well, I should have pushed up top soon, because now that's Drag Soul for free.
That's a soul already. That's unfortunate.
Shyvana's been pretty
Ideally,
on top,
we could have traded for Baron, but no one's in position.
we weren't in position. That feels really good, but it's not over.
Chemtech's ult actually really good against Varus as well, because it gives the tenacity for the ult and then the, like, low health, less damage thing.
Damn it.
I would get Maud out when he comes out.
This Rumble is insane, dude. You are fucking awful, my guy.
You can kill that Shiv if he tries to walk into you.
Such a shame. I missed my cue.
Yeah, it happens.
Why did I go for Shyvana with my cue combo, dude? Why did I do that? I had him.
Well, I didn't even have to say anything that time. You knew.
Why did I do that? Holy shit. Oh, fuck. No, I mean, I think I could have mechanically won this game. And I just had some blunders in the beginning with Mordekaiser, which made... I mean, like I think the rest of the team could have gone either way. I could have been the deciding factor in a win here, so I don't feel too bad about it. I had my good moments and my bad moments. More bad moments than good moments this time.
You did, yeah. But I feel like this time most of it was mechanical, which like 90% of that just comes down to practice. I think there's some where it's like knowledge of
It's a little
what
bit
you
of
can do.
familiarity too.
Yeah.
Like I taking a lot of CPU away from the mechanics so that I can
Yes.
manage the
No, yeah,
waves.
exactly. Like your
But
brain
once I get
is
it,
thinking about other things, and the more used to the other things you become, that's why I feel like you can only learn one thing at a time. Like in this game, I would never. Sometimes I'll see like coaching videos, and that they talk about like everything that goes wrong in the game from start to finish, and it's very difficult to learn everything all at once.
for sure. Like the thing is, it's hard because all the concepts, there's no like one to one in real life. It's
Yeah.
like multiple different concepts from multiple different games and genres and things. I I would like to push out another wave before we fight. Mordekaiser's there.
Yeah,
I would love to get a
you're never
QSS.
actually gonna get a deep push into inhibs. This is why inhibs are so powerful, right? They remove the play pattern that we're trying to go for. Um, and they just give you permanent tempo in one of the lanes.
I notice I'm a lot quicker on knowing where I'm supposed to be going
Nice.
in terms of catching the waves on the sides.
One thing that's good about this game is there was an example of a really good. Uh, I'll let you fight this.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I got Leona killed.
Well, I mean, you're trying to defend your last inhib. Generally, generally speaking, if you lose 3 inhibitors, it's kind of GG. Because you can just never have prio anywhere, so you can never do anything.
Oh shit. Yeah, yes, it's kind of a tough one.
That's fine. Not the best game, but
I could have played level 1 better. I could have played level 6 better, like 4, 5,
okay.
6. Then down there versus Mordekaiser at the very end, where Talon also died to try and get the counter frag. If I had won that, I think that could have been. I think that's what,
Yeah,
like
that would have
exactly
been very, very
5 minutes
big.
of the game. Yeah, I see the gold swing. Like that was disastrous. That was the last chance I had to bring the game back.
My stream
Everyone
still?
was
Yeah, it
okay.
is. Okay, so we're gonna go into the replay and we're gonna play the like Shyvana tracking game again with like turning the fog on and off to
Mhm.
help us build that stuff. And then there's one more wave control thing, which never came up in the other game, but it did in this one, and I think it's good to talk about. Okay, so if you remember, fog on blue, we assumed Shyvana was starting bot, right? And then this happened. Obviously, like here, you know, if this is me, let me just
I think
talk you
I just
through it.
flashed early. Can't let him have
I
pass. I
wouldn't I
can't let him
wouldn't
have
even
conquer.
flash. I would just kill him. So let me talk you through how I would play this. So as it happens, you're walking into lane in exactly the right spot for this scenario. I don't know whether you did this on purpose. Where's my pen? Why is it all the
You
way
did
over here on
mention
my?
that it's good to walk with the wave.
Yeah,
Until I started doing it.
you're exactly in the middle of your wave, which means that if he walks up and autos you, these creeps are gonna hit him, which is also gonna get the wave pushing into you. Which is not really ideal on Varus, but on a lot of champs, that's what you want. Like Darius might look to do this cheese, and you want the wave to come to you against Darius so that you can actually farm. So here, as soon as I see this, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna auto attack you, and then when you Q, either the first Q or second Q, I'm just gonna barrier, and
Yeah, and
I'll
then
just win.
already I'll have a
I'll just win.
HP lead.
So based on let me play to here. I think this is fine. Actually, your bone plating, you cancel an
It's
auto
an
there, which is
auto.
not ideal. No, it's not the end of the world. Your bone plating tanked his first Q. So here I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to barrier his second Q, right? So based on the fact that my plan is to barrier his second Q and fight him, where do you think my... So I auto here, right? Where do you think my next click is?
If I'm trying to fight him, I want to stay close to my wave, and he's gonna try and look for a Q, so I should just try and sidestep. So maybe up
I'm just
towards
I'm just gonna
his
barrier his
head.
Q. I don't think it's like practical to sidestep his Q with 320 move speed or 330 move speed or whatever you have. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I'm intending to barrier his Q and fight him. Do you remember last session we talked about proactive barrier? This is
Yeah,
one of those moments. So I'm probably gonna click like here so that when he tries to back off, I'm still autoing him. Because here you click here and then he gets to walk out. If we play it out, you'll see what I mean. So like here, now he's realized, wait, this trade isn't as good as I thought it was. And if you were here, do you see how it's like it's actually
I could
really
have
bad for
killed
him?
him
Yeah. And
because
then
the thing he has to start running.
here it comes. And as soon as you see this, you just barrier. Like imagine you barrier this Q and you're just standing here. I think you just kill him. Because this Q is gonna do no damage.
Oh my
Unfortunately, you mistimed
god!
the barrier.
How? It's because I get greedy. I get so greedy. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the split second Captain Jack shield or whatever. Like, bro, no, dude. I just let it just fucking use it all,
But
man.
anyway, that's I think from here, like from there, your lane is really hard to play because you used your barrier, but you still took the Q damage and he got the push.
Yeah, I mean that's like that is
So
the
that's why your
opposite of
early
what
game was so
I
rough, was
expect.
because of that level 1. Now, okay, let's do a little thought experiment, right? It's been 1 minute since the game, or since the jungle camp spawned. If I was to turn Fog on, and we're assuming Shyvana started bot, where would we expect her?
Maybe ground for wolves. Maybe ground. And then
Uh,
I'm cheating because I can see
it's
that it's already
it.
done.
Oh right, it's been a full minute. So after a full minute, I would expect her to be sort of crossing through here,
Oh, okay.
like going into her top side. Maybe even in if she's like a fast clearer, maybe she can even be on the chickens. Let's see where she is. She's on her wolves. She's also clearing very slow. The reason she's clearing very slow is because she took EW instead of EQ. If she took EQ, she'd be absolutely blasting through her clear. But she did. Okay, let's turn it off here. The next one I think should be quite simple. The next one's going to come at about 3 minutes 15. Yeah, it's kind of unfair that the camps are disappearing on the map. I didn't think about that. It
Yeah.
makes the game a little bit easier, like, but 3:15, where would we expect her to be?
She should be here.
Yeah,
Or if she was fast,
something
she
in
should be
here,
here.
and like this should be dead. So then, if I go here, 3:30, where do we think she should be at 3:30?
She should be in the river, either waiting
Yep,
for the scuttle crab to spawn or maybe already there.
perfect. I mean, we know where she is even without the fog because we just saw her hitting this thing through the fog for no reason. But yeah, and then we end up seeing her, and it confirms that we were right. She got this top grab. How did Rumble get level 4? Oh, he full cleared, didn't he? Of course. But Shyvana got the crab there. Oh, and also, do you remember last game we talked about this exact situation because we ran through all the scenarios?
Yeah. So if Shyvana is coming from bottom to top, that means
And Rumble is also
well,
coming from bottom to top.
yeah, they're gonna fight. And that is what happened, but I didn't have prio.
Yeah, so
Um
because like this is really good for Maud in this situation because he's got the push. Like it's just what we talked about in theory last game, right? Shyvana's getting the crab, Maud has prio for it, so it's ideal for Shyvana.
had I had the push, I could have denied Shyvana that crab and she could have died for it
Rumble could
even.
have got it and maybe you would kill her, yeah. Okay, so now we guess that she recalls, right? After the crab. So
Yeah.
Shyvana is where we should, or like if we compare it to 415, right? Or like 430. This is where we were like last game we were like, where's Briar? And we were thinking maybe she's here. But she was actually just randomly like in the base or something because she'd done some weird thing. But I would hazard a guess that if we turn the fog on or fog off, Shyvana is actually, yeah, she's actually here. I don't know. Are they fighting bot or something? No? Why is she not just doing the rump? I don't know. Weird junglers. You can't you can't
Yeah,
really
I have no
account for
idea.
weird junglers sometimes, but and then okay, I guess this is Shyvana specific. Shyvana wants the dragon, so she might not carry on her full clear. But also she doesn't have Bryo bot. So I don't know. But Shyvana sometimes goes. A lot of the time if you're against the Shyvana, you can just assume she's on dragon at 5 minutes because that's what her champ does.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can find the I think it's just before we die here actually. The opportunity that I for the final wave control thing that I want to talk about. Okay, yeah. So we thought maybe he was recalling here, right? He did recall. What happens if you recall now? What's the wave state?
It'll meet in the middle.
And since you're both in base, who does that benefit? Kind of a trick question.
Because he has TP?
No, it benefits no one because it's neutral.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, he can TP and push, but then you're coming back, you know? This is a really... If you're behind and you... Because the thing is, if you stay, right? To get your recall in, you need to get a push in. But getting the push in is very difficult for you because of this. Because we're behind in the early game, right? We've got the HP deficit. And that's why we end up dying, is because he ends up fighting us while we're trying to push the wave in with an HP deficit. If we both base, if you base here as well, yeah, he'll TP, but you'll walk back. And do you know what makes it a particularly good time to reset? Like
for him or me?
For you. Resetting on a neutral wave is fine, but there's a particular time where resetting on a neutral wave is good. And I'll give you a small clue. It happens every 3 neutral waves.
Oh, the cannon.
Yes, because it's a lot harder for him to push this wave in before you get back, because there's an entire cannon minion. So I feel like this is like the bailout recall. If you can kill the whole wave before this one gets there, so it's a neutral, then you can take a neutral reset. It's like it's not a reset that benefits you. It's just one that, like, you know, like here you feel like you need a reset, so you're gonna try and push it out. Here you've got an opportunity to take a neutral one.
Makes sense.
It's just like it's a reset where you don't lose too much. That's the last. That's the thing that didn't come up in the other game because you were playing from ahead. You don't ever really want to do that when you're playing from ahead. You see how now it's like you kind of want to push this wave out to get your reset, but you can't really.
Why did I bury or nothing?
I don't know. The flash was good though.
Yeah, and then I fucking cancel another auto.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. It's the freaking. It's like pre-6, pre-terminus, pre-recurve, berserker greaves. Always, I cancel autos.
Yeah, it's okay because we're not. I'm not so bothered about the mechanical stuff because you'll just get better at that through practice, and it's like most of what we covered last week, and I'd like to cover different things. But yeah, we've got that recall. We've got the Shyvana jungle tracking early. Now these are the things that I want you to be thinking about every single game you play now. Is like this early jungle tracking and your wave management and your recall timings. Because a lot of the time your recall is going to be after you finish the slow push. Because we were, like last game where we had control of the wave, we were doing that slow push. And then we can either recall or harass under tower. But if you, for some reason, fall behind as Varus, which is not ideal because Varus, like, you should be ahead and you should be controlling the wave. That's like, you know, it's range top, right?
Yeah.
But if you do end up in this position, then you've always got that neutral wave bailout. And let me show you an example here. So like here, let's say you wanted to neutral reset now. I know you're not in the lane, but let's pretend you are, just as an exercise. Let's pretend you're here. How could you get a neutral reset right now?
I would have to clear all the minions that's coming in.
You have to kill these before this wave gets there. Yep. So that's why champs with wave clear can take easier bases, because they can clear the whole wave and then just reset as soon as they've cleared it. The faster the better. And that's like your bailout recall. Okay. What else happened in this game that we can review? Because the big one was that neutral reset. I wanted to do the Shyvana jungle tracking thing again, which we did. Let me think. Once we get into the...
It was a little harder to push out the side lanes as far as
it's a lot harder when you're behind. That's why, like, this is why winning lanes are so important, because now Maud is looking to do what you were looking to do before. So, this was a big moment. Do you remember this when there was this thing happening around Herald?
Oh my good god,
I would
yeah.
always push this wave first.
I probably lost a lot. I mean,
get rid of this.
Just bled so much gold.
Get rid of this and then come. And just like...
And another thing is, had I not been there, they probably would have backed off.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Because like from these guys' perspective, if you were these guys, right, what you would be thinking, or what you should be thinking, is, oh, we don't have top prio. Making a play around topside right now is really risky. So yeah, I think you should take this wave and then look to come in. And you can push it quite fast. You can use your Q to push it, and just try to get it in as quick as possible.
I was about to pick like a 4 kills there. I was just frightened for my life. I wasn't thinking straight.
It actually, you lose less minions than you... This should slow push into them quite quickly, but I don't know if you know this, but their minions are stronger than yours right now. It doesn't...
Because the average level is higher?
Yeah, so you've got level 9 minions and they've got level 10 minions, because their team are stronger than your team. So it's actually holding, and like you're losing less than you would, but most of the time, like, you just want to push it. Oh, also,
Wait, I'm losing less because their minions are stronger?
Yeah, because you want to kill their minions,
right.
but their minions aren't dying because they're stronger. So, you know, you're not losing the minions because they're staying alive. They're winning. Yeah, one thing to bear in mind every time you play against Mordekaiser, if he's in range to ult someone, if you throw a skill shot, he can dodge it by ult.
Yeah.
We saw that a couple of times.
So it's just, I don't know when he would think it's good. It almost felt like I don't know, like when two cowboys are like trying to draw on each other.
I'll show you an example. You know that bot lane one where you died?
Yeah.
Play around with his range. So I'll show you when we get there. Okay, so it's hard now because we're behind. Like, Maud being stronger than us. What we were doing last game was we were kind of just forcing the waves in because we were stronger than the person who wanted to come to the side lane. But here we're not. So here we do actually have to be careful of the Mordekaiser. However, is this where you outplay him? I think this is going to show pretty much what I wanted you to do in... So you auto him, right? This is a good time to ult. Why is this a good time to ult?
Because he has no E, and I just used my flash. Well, actually, no. He just misses E. I have stacks of blight. And he's also not in melee range, so even if I were to ult him, like I just get free hits on him.
I think he's like, maybe. Let me zoom in to get a better idea.
That's barely my melee range. That is definitely like 575 plus a little bit of selection radius.
I
it's
think
probably close to 600 units.
Maybe he can ult you, but it might make him walk a little bit further to ult you. If you play off of the range of his ult. Let me check what his ult range is.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize it was short range at all. I thought he, honestly, I thought he.
It's 650, so it's kind of like it's a little bit more than your auto range. So if you were just like a step further back, because it looks like you clicked into him here, whereas if you clicked away from him and ulted, I think he can't ult over your ult, you know, and then you can WQ him. Like, here you don't need... Another thing, like, you know, once you land your ult, you don't need to auto. You can just WQ, or you can E, but I would, or just regular Q as well. I would Q, because then you get 2 Qs. So you do the Q, whereas here you're going to get 2 Es, which is kind of more awkward.
Oh, I see.
Actually, you're going to get 2 of each. But I think here, I'll tell you how I think he's dead, right? I think he's dead to ult, step back out of his range, full charge WQ.
Even through that fat shield?
Yeah, I mean, you got to break it eventually, right? Or you could like start full charging WQ and wait for it to expire, but it's so long. So I would just full charge maybe just full charge regular Q actually. No, maybe maybe I would WQ it, and then I would 3 autos and E, and then I would like do 3 autos and Q. I think he would die in 1 less blight rotation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But again, it's it's a small thing.
Quicker to use a normal Q. And they come out faster than me. More
yeah, and then more, like, you can tap them and they're very hard to dodge. Okay. So here, this is an example of a spot where we've already got prio in both side lanes. So as a solo laner, the reason that vulnerable champions can struggle as solo lane is not so much in lane, because in lane they're kind of only vulnerable to the jungle. But once you get to this point, your job as a solo laner is to manage the side lanes. Now this one's sorted and this one's being managed by your mid laner, so you don't need to do anything right now. But that's what we're going to be thinking for the rest of the game. It's like, how can we manage these side lanes? So like, both are pushed in now. And then this one's coming back now, right? So at this point, I would start preparing to go and get the top wave. Because I know it's going to cut, like, after this wave, I know I'm going to have a top wave. So we can fight this guy here. But I'm ready as soon as this ends. Like, actually Mordekaiser's coming, so it's neutral. So we're fine with neutral. But I would assume that you would push it and be ready to move. See what actually ends up happening. Blah, blah, blah. Big fight. Okay, so in the aftermath of the fight, what are we thinking about the side lanes now?
Oh, they're both pushing away, but slowly. I mean, that means somebody will answer it, but it means that we're kind of losing golden XP.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody's catching that.
Yep.
But it is going the direction we want.
So we could go and sort either one of these out.
Actually,
like,
no.
From base. Okay, Talon's going bot, so we go top, and then we'll push this out. So we'll push this out. And here I'm assuming he'd recall. Now here we can potentially slow push this one and hard push next if we wanted to, or we can just fast push this and try and fast push next. Kind of greedy to walk up and fast push it, but now that we've decided not to slow push the first one, I would. So we fast push this. Nice, now we got 2 waves in, and now we can look to go and play around our team. So let's take a look. We don't get the dragon, this fight happens in mid. But the good thing is, the top wave's in a good position for us. So regardless of the outcome of the fights, because the outcome of the fights is going to be a largely mechanical thing. But we want to get the waves in the right place. I was just talking and a fly flew into my mouth. It's just grim. Anyway. So now, what do you think I'm looking at now?
Rumble's dead, Leo's dead, top, jungle, on the opposite side are dead. So I think numbers-wise, we're even. If I go to push one of the side lanes, the only person who can match me is Corki or Pike plus somebody.
Mm-hmm. And which side lane should you go to?
I like to be near my team, and Baron is the only thing that's up on the map right now, so I would like to push top.
See, I think you should push bot. The reason is, one, Talon's top. He might push this. Also, it's already fairly pushed. This one's here. And then, like you said, Baron is up. And That's a big issue with this wave being here, because we've got, like, the enemy has pressure on the other side of the map to the objective that spawned. Like, we need to sort this out. You know what I mean?
I need to sort it and then go Baron.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, exactly. So I'd be looking for you to go bot, and then push this in, and then come and play around Baron. And that's like the play cycle that you're going to have. It's going to be go and sort the side lane, and then go and play around your team, and then go and sort. Because here, do you remember what I said in this scenario? We killed them, so we have like time to do stuff because Pyke was dead. And then I think, oh, you actually made a really good play here where you flashed him. I like it.
I was hoping this would give us enough momentum to do Baron, actually. But I think we overchased. Yeah,
Yeah, Talon died.
Somehow Talon ends up dead off my play like that, which is
okay.
Insane.
So what I'm thinking here, from a macro perspective and wave management perspective, is that where's my pen? This guy's dead, and this guy's dead. So we've got a big window where they don't have many players. So we can use that to get this bot lane in the good spot, so that we can actually play around Baron when they're alive again. Because what happens is we let them respawn, because we're just kind of chilling mid, and now they're alive again. And now the problem is, if we go to get this, they could potentially play around Baron, right? Now Baron's a real threat because they're alive.
Oh, I see. I thought it was being useful trying to kill Shyvana there mid lane, but I was not.
Ooh, this is a good one to review, actually. Okay, zoom in a bit. Okay, so I would be clicking down here. Let's see where you go. Okay, you auto him. I think that's fine. I think I would probably just ult him now. Just ult him and then walk to here. And then full charge. You don't want a W because it's not.
He's not low.
Yeah, he's not low. So you just Q charge him into it. And then he's going to drop to like here. Maybe more with a full Q and an ult. Because you've got a blight stack already. But we're going to do that. And then from there, where we've got a big HP advantage, then we can look to like walk in with his look to dodge his spells and hit him with three autos and then an E, and then 3 autos and then a WQ. So a lot of the time you've been starting with E in your blight cycling. The reason I like starting with Q is because if we think about, you know how the WQ is an execute, so it really pays off to have WQ at the end. So if we think about the cycle, if we go E, Q, now we can't W, now we're back on E. So it takes 4. Whereas if we, oops, what, I knew what I was trying to do, I just couldn't do it. Whereas if we do Q, E, and then WQ, it only takes us 3 to get onto our WQ. So if you imagine how much damage we would do if we did R now, into Q with 3, I'd say that's like this much, probably. Right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Then we do 3 autos. So that takes him down to like... maybe then he's got his shield, right? Oh no, he's not hit you with anything though, so he can't really do a big shield right now. He's probably down to like here. And then we do the E. Then he's down to like here.
Shield size is based off of how much he's hitting me? I did not know that.
Also when you hit him, it builds it up. So I think what's going to happen is that by this point, you would have taken him to this health, and he would have his shield, which would be about maybe this much. Maybe this much. Maybe it's bigger. But still, because his health is low, if you WQ with 3 stacks on that, it's going to do so much damage.
WQ doesn't take into account grey health? Or...
No, shields aren't health. So, like, any execute spell, it takes into account your health value. He could have, like, a shield this big, but it will still
gonna burn through the shield.
Yeah, right? It's still gonna deal damage to the shield, but it's gonna deal a lot more damage because you're gonna have to get through that shield anyway. It's gonna deal a lot more damage by his health bar being low.
Makes sense.
So
yeah, I didn't have to be so scared about this.
Here it might not quite kill him because he's so far ahead, but a lot of the time your combo is gonna be your R and then your Q, and then your 3 or well, it's gonna be your. It's like 2 autos, E auto, right? And then finally 3 autos into WQ. But a lot of the time
Oh,
you won't even need the 3 autos. And I think
there's a
just
mechanic with E that it will proc another blight stack 0.3 seconds after casting. So sometimes if you auto too quickly after the E, like for example, if you auto 3 times, E auto, it will proc all 4.
oh, proc 4, really?
It'll do 3 and then it'll proc the 1.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
I
I
was
actually didn't
trying
know
it
that.
out and because I was trying it out in practice tool and I was like, why is it that I'm autoing 6 times but I'm only having 5 stacks? And then I looked carefully, it's because E after you place it will proc on more blight stacks. Like it checks again for a blight stack for 0.2 seconds.
Oh
I
damn.
mean that's just minor. It's like minor. It's like such little damage, right? An extra blight stack.
Yeah. Okay, so we do R, 1, 2, 3, W. Ah, yeah, okay. I think you only need 1 auto there to do your WQ, because you have, like, you've got to bear in mind that you're ticking up a blight with your ult as well. And then you do your E. You're very close to winning, actually. You just need a couple more autos and then the Q would kill him. So you're nearly there. A lot of it's being behind in gold as well.
Yeah.
Okay, now if we go for the rest of the game. So like here, do you remember what I wanted you to do here with the dragon spawning in 54 seconds?
Push out topside.
Yeah, it's the same as what we were just talking about with Baron. We want to get the top pushed so that we can move into Drake. So in preparation for whatever's going to happen, we want to fix the side lanes according to it. I know it looks really like you want to go mid here, but I feel like you can't play expecting the enemy team to int to you coming mid. Like, you have to play for the wave. Because if you play around expecting them to int, that's only going to get you so far. If you play correctly, it's like always a positive.
And I definitely could have assumed that they were not going to come top for me. They
And
were
then
just going
here,
to go
it should
dragon.
just be running straight with your team as soon as you come out of base. You maybe make a pick on
Did I
Maud or
push that
something.
top wave far enough?
Yeah, because the reason this is far enough, ideally you'd get it here, but the Drake spawned too quick. So you didn't really have more time. But your team, no one's in position for this dragon, so it's just gone.
We're late anyways, so
Yeah,
wouldn't the smarter play to just keep pushing top?
maybe, and then play for Baron. You could do that too. But the concept is that you want to be pushing out the side lanes, right? I think
I
this
did
is where
no
your
damage.
Q missed, because he went into death round.
Oh,
And then we lost inhib. And then the games are always very hard to play from this spot, because the entire thing that we want to do about pushing out the side lanes, right? You can't really do that into inhibs down, which is why having side lane inhibs is so much better than having mid lane inhib.
makes sense. I mean, 10K gold lead, like four drag souls. I definitely was not optimistic about winning this one.
No, yeah. And from there, it was
That's good
lost.
though. It's good to have one win, one loss. So,
Yeah.
like 2 wins, you don't learn as much if you have losses.
Okay. So let's together, and then I can send it you in DMs. Let's summarize the stuff that we've covered today. So, what did we do first?
Um, okay, so I'm gonna go in order of the game. First thing, well, in terms of concept, first thing we hit was jungle tracking and how to manage the waves based on what, what situation we're preparing for.
Yeah.
And then, you briefly talked about how many minions it takes, what position. That would be the factors of the number of minions and then how deep it is to in towards your turret or away from your turret. The 3 different wave states, it could be neutral, it could be pushing, it could be frozen. What else? I don't want to cheat and look at my notes.
Mhm.
Then we directly went into jungle tracking, which is where they start. There are two ways you can find out level 1, which is if they received the leash, or if we see them with a ward or something. And there's ward placement where you can see the jungler usually doing their first camp, crossing over, and there's also the crow's ward. And you can look based on their CS number what direction they're going, whether they're going up or down. And the direction they're clearing is indicative of which lane is going to be either weak side or strong side, or if the junglers are going to tussle in a 2v2. And like if one of the side lanes is going to be isolated in the 2v2 or the 1v1. Let me think, what else? After the jungle track, mostly there's the three, usually around 3:15 they'll finish, and then 3:30 is guaranteed they'll be in the river for crab. After that, they'll usually back and then go back to their first camp, unless they do something weird. Let me think.
Yep.
And mostly in relation to the jungler is like, I just want to be evaluating what how I'm playing my game up there based on where the junglers are. So if I'm stronger and I want that isolated 1v1, then I should pay attention, make sure that the jungler's not on my side. Or if I'm weak side and I still want the isolated 1v1, then I'm just gonna have to chill. I'm gonna have to wait for the wave to come to me. I need to make sure that he's not, that I haven't accidentally given him a freeze and he's denying me stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you summarized way more than I thought you would. I mean, you said that you were taking notes, and I think that shows because you actually touched on pretty much everything. I'm just writing my own notes. I'll put it on my screen so you can see it as well, because I'm going to send you these. So I went through jungle tracking. You've got your early wards to spot which side they started on, checking for leashes to see which side they started on, the chickens ward and counting CS to see which way they're pathing. If you've got no information, assume, I'll put they are pathing. Assume they're pathing top lane, the enemy jungle that is. About 3:15 for finish full clear, 3:30 grab, 3:40 they can recall or gank. They've got those options like we talked about. Then you've got your 4 things that ideally you want to look to do if you're winning your lane and you've got the push, based on what the enemy junglers and your junglers are doing. And then your base timers, your best base is on the crash. And then you've got your neutral wave recall, which is like a bailout recall. So those are the base timers that ideally you want to take. What else did we do? Then we did into mid-game starts when tower drops. You've got your push out side lane, then group. Normally mid, can be on objective. Can push side lanes safer by slow pushing one, then hard pushing the other. And then I think last should just be some like things to practice, like a list of things to practice for you. So we've got predicting where the enemy jungler will be in the first 6 minutes. You can do this every game. You can also
maybe look to get an early ward if the situation calls for
yeah,
it.
you can look for early wards. I was thinking more about assessing how safe you are to push out side lanes in the mid to late game. And then keeping your CS high while being impactful. So this is going to be like a natural result of doing this, because if you're pushing out the side lane and getting all the minions and then letting it come back to you while you're grouped, then you're not actually losing creeps, so you're going to keep your CS per minute high while you're still playing with your team. So you don't have to permanently sit in side lane, but you're still getting your CS per minute. And then I think it's good for you to practice just like last hitting with the exercise involving the training dummy from last week. Okay. I think that's the majority of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like we built exactly on what I was looking for last week. I feel super confident. And that, in addition, it's not too overwhelming. I can still focus on what we did last week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actionable stuff. And also I checked out Coach Chippy. I watched one of
Oh,
his, I
nice.
think he did it was like Zeus playing Corky Top. And yeah, but it was nice, like to just hear a little bit more as a range top laner playing into a melee, when you should go for a harass, when you should feel a little more safe or unsafe.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So keep trying to, like, you can go into your own replays and play. I mean, I know it kind of shows the camp spawn timers, which was giving it away, but you can kind of see, like, in the game, try and figure out where the jungler is, and then in the review after, if you go into your VODs, just look at the first 6 minutes. It's really quick to do, and just see if the enemy jungler was where you thought they were, and just see how accurate you can get it. See how good you can get at predicting it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can do.
Do you have any final questions about what we've talked about today?
There, no other than cleanse versus Nasus, I can take barrier versus everybody else.
Let's have a look. Drafting.gg, and then we'll click top lane. Okay, I'll take barrier versus Aatrox, Camille, Cho'Gath, Darius. Maybe, yeah, probably Mundo too. I feel like Mundo you could maybe even get away with teleport because he's so weak in the lane. I would definitely take barrier versus Fiora. Yeah, probably GP too. And definitely Garen, Gnar, Gragas, Gwen, Eloy, Aurelia, Jax. Yeah, probably Jace too, and Cassante. Kayle, again, I feel like you can probably take TP because she's so weak. So you don't need the barrier at all, you can just take the TP. Kennen actually, I think exhaust is better. If you exhaust Kennen when he presses R, he just loses so much damage. The entire champion is countered by exhaust. And then barrier, cleanse on Nasus. Barrier on Olaf. Barrier on Ornn. Barrier on Pantheon. Barrier on Poppy. Barrier Quinn. Renekton, maybe you can make a case that exhaust is better because he has shield break on his W, so barrier is kind of hard to use. I think maybe you could say exhaust for Renekton. Riven, I would take barrier. Rumble, I would take barrier. Set, I would take barrier. Shen, barrier. Singed, I don't know, Singed's too weird. Sion's another one where I think maybe you can take teleport because he's really weak in lane. Tahm Kench, probably just barrier. Teemo, maybe you would take cleanse for the Q. Tryndamere would be barrier. Urgot would be barrier. Volibear would be barrier. Yasuo, you're banning. Yone would be barrier. And I think Yorick is also barrier.
Nice.
So there's a few. There's like 2 cleanse matchups and 2 exhaust matchups. And 3 TP matchups. So yeah.
Sounds good. I will practice.
Alright, nice one. Okay.
I'm gonna work on it. I'll let you know if I have more questions. For the next 3 days, I'll probably be doing the same thing, which is I'll do the exercises, I'll do the rundown, basically just doing what we did today, but just on my own.
Awesome. Yeah, the more you practice it, like you said earlier, it takes up space in your brain, and the more you can make it not do that, the better.
Yes, sir. I already feel lots of progress
Nice.
since week 1, week 2.
Great.
So I'm really excited for week 3.
Okay, yeah, me too. All right, well, I will see you in another session in a week, but obviously we'll be messaging between.
Yep. All right. Thanks again. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Bye bye.